Football is back, ladies and gentlemen, which now means it's time to get your team's football shirt. But I'm not trying to pay £120 for a football shirt. I'm just saying. But I have found the solution for myself and for you, the lovely audience of the Don Husam channel, with your own coupon promo code. And this is the solution, ladies and gentlemen. All you've got to do is just go to okjersey.com. As you guys can see, all the options are there. Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan, you guys already know. And then this is the shirt. Look how amazing it looks. I'm just gonna go pick my size, and then after that I'm gonna choose the Premier League patch. And listen, I'm too old to be putting any player names on the back, so I'm just gonna get it as it is. I'm gonna click add to cart, view cart, and this is the same thing that you guys do on any website. You proceed to checkout, you fill in all your information, and then after that, coupon code Husam. When you click this coupon code, you get a 8% discount. Enjoy shopping, guys. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream, guys. We are here. It's the LFC Avengers, Habibis. Callum and Matt will be joining us exactly in 15 minutes, inshallah. So big up to all of you guys. We have full panel today, stacked Avengers panel. You get me? So big up to all of you guys. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Yeah. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all having a lovely time. We aren't. Another loss. Another loss.
Having a great time.
This is our fucking
the slot in crew. Yeah. Listen, the slot outers are here in 15 minutes, guys. You get me?
This is our version of fucking Infinity War. You know, on the Avengers where Thanos won. This is our version of that today. Yeah. We lost 3-0. This is a bad day. This is a bad day.
Jamie Phillips messaged me and I forgot to respond because I just woke up a little bit like I was like, I just didn't respond. Bro, he was like, yeah, let's get this stream going, like the slot inners versus slot outers. I'm like,
No, is that what he wants? Jamie messaged me yesterday saying he wants to do a show. Is that what he wants to do? Slot in versus slot out? I don't even know if I want to do. I will go on his channel because it's Jamie, but I don't even know if I want to do that. I know that's what today's going to be, but that's unofficial. Planning stuff like that feels so Man United. It doesn't it? Doesn't that feel like such a Man United thing to do? Come on, Cheshire.
Or Arsenal.
I'm fuming at this.
Anyway, guys, so you're gonna have your slot out representation in 15 minutes. Don't worry. Big up to all of you guys.
In the meantime, cope.
Yep. And hit the like button, subscribe as well, not just
in the meantime, back the manager. That's what you do. Back the manager.
Guys, go ahead. Who wants to start?
Go on, Tom. You start.
Yes, you start, Tom.
What on yesterday? That was fucking shit. That weren't it? That was really shit. But again, I know how people have read into that game. I know how people feel about that game. I personally feel that the manager did get things wrong. I'm not going to sit there and say he's blameless. He failed to get an understanding of, or failed to get a grip of the way Man City just overloaded us the centre of the pitch. We never had enough players in the middle. But I also feel certain players, in fact, a lot of players, in fact, most players, I should say, didn't hit the standard, didn't do the bare minimum. And if you're not doing the bare minimum, it doesn't matter if the manager's a tactical fucking genius. You're not going to win the game. You've got to be doing the bare minimum every single time. You've got to be running hard. You've got to be winning your duels. You've got to be winning your 50-50s. You've got to be doing the bare minimum on a football pitch. And when your two centre-backs and your three starting midfielders are failing to win a single tackle all game, that's where I can't fully blame the manager, because the manager's not telling them to not win tackles. When you look at the first two goals that take the game away from us, really, the first one, an error from Kanate, or a fifth, sixth, seventh error of the game from Kanate, should we say, where I don't know if any of you have played centre-back, but what happens is he's tried to flick that on. That's the last fucking resort, you flicking it on, because you've got no idea what's behind you. You're doing that as I'm at my highest point in my jump. I am not going to win this clear. I just need to flick this on. Kanate hasn't even got off the fucking ground. It's a shit jump. And he's headed it into Haaland. And that was just one of a fucking catalogue of errors on the day for him. The second goal, Virgil van Dijk fucks up on that one. This isn't just a fucking Kanate agenda. Virgil van Dijk does the cardinal fucking sin for a centre-back and throws out a lazy leg. A lazy leg, like, that's pathetic. Mamardashvili fucked up, but at least he made up for it with the penalty.
And to be fair, Mamardashvili was forced to have to run out of goal and try and do something.
Because someone's inability to pass a fucking ball was exploited again. But guys, I've got a Canate agenda. Guys.
The thing that I didn't understand about that point with Canate when the penalty was given away, I understand you want to give Bradley cover, but you've got to assess that situation that Bradley's done the hard part.
That's not cover though. If my fullback has won the ball back and is giving it to me, you want to go one area I'm not booting it into.
Go and support the avenue that if Doku gets past Bradley, like say if he pushes him off the ball.
Yeah.
Or like
it's also though like Bradley won the ball. It was coming back to Canate. Canate has to either boot it out for the throw-in and we get back into shape, or boot it up the pitch and we get back into shape. The one area you don't proceed to boot the ball is into Conor Bradley's crotch. That's the one area you don't proceed to put the ball into. Because what happens then is it fucking bounces back to Doku. And Conor Bradley and Canate out the fucking game. Because they're sitting there going, shit, how did that happen? So I understand that people want to go at Arne Slot. I understand that. But me personally, I look at certain players who throughout this season have failed to hit the standards. They've failed to hit the standards. And people will then go, well, if it's all the team, then maybe you look at the manager. But I look at that game yesterday and go, the manager played the 11 everyone wanted to see. The manager set us up, for the most part, in the way everyone wanted to set us up. If players aren't doing the bare minimum, there's not an awful lot the manager can do to make them perform to that level. And I feel that ultimately, whilst the manager has got some things wrong, 100%, like I said, he failed to get a handle on how many players Man City had in the middle, and that meant they could play through us with ease. I also think that there was too many times in that game where individuals simply failed to hit the standards. I'll say it again. Liverpool won 38% of duels yesterday. That's shit. Liverpool won 37% of aerial duels yesterday. That's shit. I'm pretty sure our front three had the most tackles out of anyone on the pitch. That's shit. Our midfield and centre-backs had a combined 0 tackles. That's shit. It's the bare minimum. It's the fight. If you're not doing that, you don't deserve to win football matches. And I'm sorry, I can't sit there and blame the lack of fight and the lack of quality in possession on the manager, because the manager, I don't believe, is sitting there going, by the way, guys, you know what I want you to do today? If there's a 50-50, shake it. Who gives a shit? If there's a tackle to be won, don't fucking win it. Shake it. Who gives a shit? I think he's got standards that just simply aren't getting met. So, at the end of the day, I'm still backing this manager. I still am.
So, the only thing I'll probably tweak it on there, Tom, is that I don't think it was an effort issue. I thought the players just looked rattled, and I thought we looked fatigued. I honestly, I think Arne kind of got it a bit spot on after the game, is that, you can't just really put it on the players. That being said, because we were fatigued and because we were overwhelmed by their sort of setup and their press in the opening minutes, we just couldn't ease our way into the game. And that's why there was no surprise when we came out for the second half. We saw a different Liverpool. And the only goal City scored was just an absolute moment of individual quality from Doku. And it was a far better second half performance. And for me, I thought the main issues was we could not, for the life of us, get into their half without just giving it to their player. And that is where it is a player issue. Every pass that we were making, I felt in the build-up, was just the wrong pass. And I just thought, for me, you have no chance against the City side who have built a good way of momentum, who have shown and demonstrated that they can be fantastic against teams with our style of play. And that's exactly what happened. He just got punished for it. In the build-up, we were lacklustre. And in the defence, we just looked absolutely battered. And I also do think these players are struggling to adapt to these tactical changes that Slot's made going into this season. And in the short term, that is where you do have to put it on the manager. But that being said, people cannot forget this. The old system that everyone's asking for us to go back to was the same system. There was the same system that was running out of ideas, that was getting caught out more regularly. So the sooner you start a transition process, the better, because it will detriment you in the short term. And this is going to... I've got no legs to stand on from Liverpool's current form or form all season. I can't present anything from this season that says this way is going to work. But I have got plenty of examples in the past of styles of play that have taken time to adjust and has ended up working beautifully. So all I'm asking from people is, okay, it's fine to not like what we're seeing, but stop asking to go back to what we was doing, because people forget Arne Slot did take over a team that finished 5th and 3rd. And that isn't me clapping on Klopp by any means. Again, the league adjusted to the way that we played. And again, we were in Europa League before Arne Slot came into this team. There was reasons for that. Everyone likes to reference the season where we had all the centre-backs injured, but people forget we still finished 3rd that year. It was actually, we finished 5th.
The year we finished 5th was because we didn't refresh.
And we didn't refresh. So the point is, and the style got caught out massively that year as well.
Because we didn't refresh, we couldn't play the style properly, and we were getting exploited too many times.
And that's why I just think some fans need to be like, right, we can change the system. We can do it this way. It's not bad to have an opinion. But to say Slot is wrong for trying to evolve the system is where I disagree. And yesterday, the system was an issue. It was, and it has been a couple of times this season, because I thought that the players did look a bit tactically battered. That being said, I still need to see this team undergo a transition. And when I've seen 4 or 5 new additions, it does not surprise me that the majority of the losses have came through fine margins. And it doesn't surprise me that a City team who seem to be way more together this season than last year, which again was a transitional season for them. But it's only okay for City because Pep Guardiola was their manager and he's got credit in the bank, as if Arne Slot doesn't, just because it doesn't measure to Pep's credit. He got given that chance and the fans stayed quiet and said, right, we'll give you a shot. Jurgen Klopp, 1 league title. We didn't win a league title for 4 years after we won the league. 4 years with Klopp. And that's what Slot came into and won us the league straight away with those tweaks. By the way, is he in now? Yes, brother. Yes, brother.
Afternoon, boy. Good
afternoon, sir. And that's where I sit there and say, right now, there is tactical issues, but I still have to see an evolution of this team. I can't see us revert back to what we used to do just because we won the league last season, because that's the very same system that was get caught out. And that's why people compile the end of last season and the beginning of this one, because the old system got caught out while the players were getting tired. And then we're looking at the beginning of this season, the players that we brought in and the old players are struggling to adapt to a new system on and off the ball. So I do think you can put a bit on the manager for sure for yesterday, and anyone who goes against that, fine, but I would. But you can't ignore the players as well, man. That was poor from the players yesterday. Just got battered. And Pep Guardiola got the number. And to be fair as well, even the way they exploited Canate, I thought that was a Pep Lijnders masterclass. And fair play to him. He knows his weaknesses. He knows his strengths. And the way that they got exploited, I've never seen City do that to that level with Canate. So I'm going to be putting a lot of that.
It's not the first time a team's done that, though.
Not a team, I'm saying City. Sorry, not a team, I'm saying City. Like maybe other managers I've looked at it and gone for, but Manchester City, last year we beat them 2-0 twice, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but last year they couldn't afford to do so. So what we saw yesterday was ultimately a problem with how we've built the squad. Last year, if they tried to mark Van Dijk out the game, there was a certain rat who was quite good at passing the ball out the back. Who played it right back, so we just give him the ball instead. This year, he's not there, and we've got 2 full-backs that you can't have him build up because they're not good at it. They need to be further up. And we have a centre-back that's not good in build-up. So they could, this year, put Haaland on Van Dijk, take them 2 out the game, and just go...
I still think they could have done that with Trent in the team, to be honest. Trent is more of a threat from that right-back position, no doubt. But
the problem is, if they were to do that with Trent, and because that would involve pushing either one of the centre mids up or the left winger very high up, what would ultimately end up happening is they would leave, if it was the left winger, they'd leave obscene amounts of space for Mohamed Salah to get the ball, which is the worst possible thing they can do. Or if it was the centre mid who jumped up, that would mean that Gravenberch could move around, get himself free, and receive the ball deep. unmarked.
The only way
because they can't
the
commit
only
to
way
that.
I'd agree with your hypotheses is if we're including Trent in the equation. The only way it works is if Diaz was back in the equation as well, because Diaz was brilliant. Even Nunes as well, to be fair to him, because these are players who drag out defenders. I don't think Ekitike, Wirtz and Salah have that capability as a trio to drag out defenders the way that we could last season with the players that we had, and that's why I just think that's why you've just got to look at the team yesterday and just go, do you know what it was? It was a mixture of a tactical failure, but more so on the players as well. The players just did not adjust to that game and they were rattled from the first 5 minutes. I thought that intensity just could not be matched at all throughout that first half. And I was actually surprised to see how much better we did in the second. But yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's let Callum speak this week without swarming him. Big up to the Football Terrace for the raid as well. Big up to everyone who just joined us from Terry's channel. We got 900 people locked in. Let's make sure we get the likes up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well. Callum, talk to me about the game yesterday before we have the existential conversation.
The game yesterday, poor from start to finish. Tactically inept. Personnel on the pitch lacked the quality desired and needed for the game. And we were handily beaten. Yes, we had a goal chalked off that shouldn't have been chalked off. But the reason I didn't even really mention that in the post-match or in the little rant I did after the game is because ultimately that goal didn't really mean anything because we were still going to lose that game and lose that game handily. Once again, another manager has tactically outclassed our manager. Once again, players have battered our players on a football pitch. And once again, we're sitting here getting absolutely lambasted by players and managers that we shouldn't be getting lambasted by. Now, granted, big up saying, granted, Man City could do that to most teams. And Man City will play other teams at the Etihad this season, and those teams will get absolutely touched, just like we did yesterday. The difference is we're getting touched by everyone. We're a brothel right now. Liverpool Football Club is a brothel right now. And we had 2 very good results. And once again, it papered over the cracks as to what this season has been. And it doesn't show any signs of getting better. It doesn't show any signs of changing. Do I blame the manager as much yesterday as I have in previous games? No. But for me, he still takes the majority of the blame. And I don't sit here and understand how and why we are like this after being giving everything infrastructure-wise, personnel-wise, support-wise that we've given. And we're still sitting here and we're still in this situation. It stinks. It's rotten. If I'm not mistaken, back in 2010-11, if I might be, don't quote me here because it might be a misquote, but I think I'm pretty close. Roy Hodgson in his first 11 games was, I think, 3 points worse off than what Arne Slot is at the same stage of the season. Roy Hodgson. That was with players like Paul Konchesky, Christian Poulsen, David Ngog, etc. We are now sitting here, 18 points in the league with players like Isak, Ekitike, Wirtz, etc. It stinks. It stinks. How are we sitting here speaking about Liverpool Football Club like this? How are we sitting here acting like this isn't a systematic issue? How are we sitting here acting like the manager is not the main reason why we're in this mess right now? And again, I've spoken at this at length. Yesterday, everyone, including myself, was very happy with the starting 11. No issues with the starting 11 whatsoever. But the implementation of that starting 11 was horrific. McAllister is the deepest line midfielder. Don't piss me off, guys. McAllister's got fantastic quality, but when has he been at his most effective being the deepest lying midfielder? He's not very press resistant, and he hasn't got an amazing passing range. None of our midfielders have got an amazing passing range. You'd say Szoboszlai has probably got the biggest passing range because he can hit a diagonal and he can hit 60, 70-yard passes. The other two don't really do that. They haven't really got that in their locker like that. But at least with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, Gravenberch more so, he can turn out of a press. He can use body feints to get out of a press. He can use his physicality. Szoboszlai, he can use his running ability. He can use his driving ability to get out of the press. How on earth is McAllister the deepest lying midfielder? He got pressed off the pitch. He couldn't get out of his half, couldn't do anything. He's not a player who's going to receive the ball from that position and thread it through the lines. He's not that guy. When you think about some of the greatest players to have played as a deep line playmaker or the last or first, depending on how you're looking at it, person in midfield. You're looking at your Xabi Alonso's, your Pirlo's, your Tony Cruz's, these type of players. He's not that type of player. Fantastic player. I'm not taking anything away from McAllister, but he's not that sort of player. We played, in the manager's word, a low block against Real Madrid, and at times we went high. What's the best way of beating Man City under Pep Guardiola? Sitting deep and counter-attacking. I'm just Callum from YouTube, but everyone knows the best and quickest way to beat Pep's team is to soak up pressure and hit them on the counter-attack. What did Liverpool do at the Etihad last season? We sat back deep, hit City on the counter-attack, and we got win from it. How have teams like Man United, who are inferior to Man City over the years, beaten Man City? How have other teams beaten Man City this season? You sit deep, you soak up pressure, you stay compact, and in the moment you get the ball, you kill them on the counter. But yeah, we want to go and do high press against a team that invented playing out from the back pretty much. A manager who specializes in playing football from the back. And we want to go and high press that team when we haven't even got great presses of the ball in the team and then get ripped apart in midfield. Come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing here on a real? Mad. But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, I was
Let's
just going
let
to
Matt go before we. Okay, go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Matt can go. I was just going to say, I have seen McAllister have good deep line playmaking performances, funnily enough, against City as well. I don't know if you recall when we drew with them 1-1
at Anfield.
Where he scored the penalty, where Matt scored the penalty.
Yeah, and he was great that game as a deep line playmaker. And there's examples like I've seen him a couple of times in the deep line playmaker role do really well. That was the only point I wanted to say, but that was it. Anyway,
Endo also played in that game a natural DM.
But he was the deep line playmaker, which is what you said was an issue. That's the only thing I was countering. That's all.
Yes.
I don't want to do the corporate organization thing,
but that was about 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
No, I'm not. You said when would that ever work? It's worked against City before. That's all I was saying, mate.
But we've also come up short with that many times as well with McAllister playing it.
You said it never has. That's the only reason why I said it. We don't need to debate over it loads.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I do agree for a large part with Cal on that. I think that the problem yesterday was the way we need to use McAllister is if you're going to start him as the deepest lying one, he can't stay as the deepest lying one. He can do it for
start him against Man City like that.
Well, to that I agree, but in a sense of you could get away with it as long as what you're not doing is being forced to go to him every single time. What McAllister needs to do if he's doing this deep role is get the ball, lay it off, and then get forwards from that position. McAllister needs to be an 8. We need to do a one pivot with 2 8s rather than a double pivot and a 10 because we don't have the options for a strong enough double pivot against opposition like that. We don't, unless you're playing Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones was good enough to do a job as a second pivot, but we weren't going to play Curtis Jones with the form McAllister was in. So again, that's one part where I do look at tactically and go, where against Madrid it was a 4-1-4-1 with McAllister and Szoboszlai in front of Gravenberch. I did find it a little bit weird that we went to a 4-2-3-1 out of possession with McAllister alongside Gravenberch and Szoboszlai massively forwards, and there was just so much space in between.
Then, sorry, Matt, I know you just jumped.
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
The substitutions. Again. So let me get this straight. We don't create anything for Ekitike, but then when Ekitike comes on the pitch, we create chances. But guess what? There's no striker there because we decide to play Florian Wirtz in the false 9. If I'm not mistaken, Florian Wirtz is 5th position he's played since he's been at Liverpool Football Club in 3 months? Because he's played left midfield, right midfield, 10, false 9, and in a pivot of a 4-2-4. Florian Wirtz, who's considered by many before we signed him the best number 10 in the world. Let's go and throw him around on the pitch and play. Just use utility Florian Wirtz. We'll call him utility Flo right now because that's what we're doing with him. We're playing a utility Florian Wirtz wherever is needed just to fill in the gaps on the pitch. Then we go to a false 9 and then swap Szoboszlai and Wirtz around to be the 10 and the 9 interchangeably. Doesn't work. Then you take off Wirtz and bring on Chiesa, but then you've got no creativity for Chiesa, Gakpo, and Salah. And then you bring on Joe Gomez for what reason? The docu had already been taken off, if I'm not mistaken, at that point. So what's the point of bringing on Joe Gomez at that point?
I think the game was just done, man.
So what's the point of bringing on Joe then at that point? And then the Kirkes sub, bloody hell, really? Like, what? Yeah, these are substitutions of a man who's trying to get us what were the purposes of the substitution? Anyone can answer, because I've been racking my head for hours now thinking, what was he thinking behind those substitutions? But it just wasn't. And I'll be honest, I'm not even mad that Isak didn't come off the bench, because I'm like, what's the point? 3-0 down. Yeah. What's the point? I actually think it was the right. That's probably the only decision he got right, is not bringing on Isak, because there's no point at that point. Just let him have the rest, and then hopefully after the international break he comes back. But bloody hell, how many games are we going to see bad substitutions? How many times are we going to see bad utilization of tactics and formations, etc.? And here's the thing: everyone will say, "Oh, he needs to change the formation." He's changed the formation bare times this season. It's not a case of changing it. That's the issue. He's not implementing tactics correctly, and he's using the wrong formations against the wrong teams. He's getting everything wrong. I think that the 2 games he's getting everything wrong.
I think the reason for the subs was just because the game was over and it's just about saving legs at that point. But I agree with you on the Isak thing, is that Isak was not worth bringing him on after an injury. And it's his first game back on the bench. I agree with you there. I think the rest of it was just legs. If I was to find one reason, I still think they were poor, by the way. I'm not justifying the sub.
Yeah. How have we played in 2025 as a whole, guys?
For different reasons, not great.
Cool.
Inconsistent. That's our goals. Inconsistent.
Liverpool standards, we've been very, very poor in my opinion.
Liverpool standards.
I think it's about 16, 17 losses in 2025, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let me chime in quickly. Yeah, let me just say this very, very clearly. We're Liverpool Football Club and we have high standards. We know things aren't going to be perfect, right? I think Arne Slot got the selection spot on with the players. We wanted them players. The problem is, though, you can have the same players on the pitch, but if your ideas are different and your ideology is different and what you want from the game, those are two very different things to compare to even the Madrid game. In my honest opinion, I knew we was in trouble from when the ball was first kicked. Do you want to know why? Whenever City got at us, I saw Virgil just clear lines. He wasn't even, normally Virgil would actually think about where he's going to pass. Like, Tom, you always speak about that. Like how when defenders make clearances, they always think where they're going to clear it to, especially with Virgil's heading. I didn't see none of that yesterday. I just saw panic all over the pitch. Man City also exploited our lack of confidence. They pressed us and we didn't know what to do. Now, that's a lot on the players. The players have no confidence right now. Let's keep it a buck. I think those 2 wins were starting to bring back a little bit of confidence, but Man City exploited that to the point where they knew that we're not that great. And you know what it is? If we cause any problems, we're going to see mistakes. Konate made a mistake with Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley shielding the ball. Konate panics and thinks, let me quickly just kick the ball out, and just kicked it straight at Bradley. And then obviously we can see the penalty. Not only that, Virgil van Dijk, lazy leg. I don't know what Virgil is supposed to be. I don't even know why Virgil even did that. You might as well just let the shot go through.
It certainly never does as well.
Tom, I know. That's what I say. He never really does that. But again, it's confidence. Again, the problem is, the manager, in my opinion, is got to be the one that sort of like sets the tone for the players. And if you're not doing your job, you shouldn't play football. You just shouldn't play. Salah, we love him. One of the greatest Liverpool players that you will ever see. But his confidence right now is actually affecting us, because what's happening is you're getting Salah get into good positions and he just thinks, I need to score. Like, I just need to score. Like, I need to get out of this funk. But really, truly, sometimes the better option can be there for him. Not only that, Florian Wirtz, people used to say that, not people, but some people, shall I say, said that, Wirtz, he could be the issue. Wirtz ain't the issue, because you see what Florian Wirtz is doing. He's trying his hardest to create and do everything for us. The problem is he's been asked to do too much. I had no problem with him being left wing, by the way. But did you see when Wirtz had to pick up the ball from left back and try and get us up the pitch? That should be Robertson's job. But because Robertson right now is just focusing on his defending and doesn't want to make a mistake, it's causing issues all over the pitch. McAllister, bro, you know me already. Anyone can go and check what I spoke about McAllister from his first 2 seasons at Liverpool. I think he, at that point, was the best Liverpool midfielder that we had for a long, long time. But the problem is the 2 games that he had. I think he had one against Aston Villa, which was pretty decent, and the Real Madrid one I thought was really, really good. The problem is in that game he was non-existent, which meant Gravenberch and Szoboszlai had to do extra work, extra running. It's unfair to those two. Szoboszlai has been an absolute madman. And one thing I don't like as well, you see Arne Slot's comment about being really impressed with him, but especially used to work off the ball. Yeah, bro, I know his work off the ball is great, but don't just like make him expendable just because he's great at it. It's almost like you want him to do too much. He should be running for 2 or 3 players. He should be running for himself and potentially just to help out someone in a certain situation. There's too many issues. Ekatike. We didn't create one chance for Ekatike. Not one good chance. And you can tell he's starting to get frustrated. It's having a knock-on effect. Who's another player? Gravenberch. Bro, Gravenberch had a really bad game yesterday. Really, really bad. That level of Gravenberch, I don't expect, and I hope I never see it again. But again, players have been asked to do much to cover other people's lack of confidence and mistakes that are happening. We're so disjointed, it just looks horrific at times. Like seeing that game, we got battered all over the pitch. There was not one point in the game where I sat there and thought, yeah, we're going to get something out of this game. And that's a horrible feeling to have as a fan. There's different reasons for it. People can say it's the manager, the players, but I think it's collectively. I don't really care whether you think it's the manager. I don't really care if you think it's the players. I just know that Liverpool Football Club are way better than where we are now. We should not be in 8th place. I understand we've made bare different changes, but the manager's been given how much money? These are his players. Use the players accordingly. You know how to get the best out of these players. You done it last year. I understand, like, certain players left and certain profiles left. But now, as the coach, you know the players you have at your disposal. You know what Isak is capable of, and Florian Wirtz and these guys there, and Ekatike. Use them to their strengths, not to their weaknesses. And again, I will stress, I feel like at this moment in time, it doesn't matter who starts the game. It's about how we're set up. We look so scared and look void of ideas. That's not something we use with Liverpool. We look shook all over the pitch. The duels, we didn't win no duels yesterday. We were chasing shadows the whole game. Why did he not bring on Curtis Jones a lot sooner? Because McAllister should have been taken up at half time. Conor Bradley was being hung out left to dry against Doku, in my opinion. And Conor Bradley, people will say, he's getting cooked. He was getting cooked. He was kind of getting cooked at points, but Bradley actually done really well. I big up Conor Bradley because I'm always one for crashing it on Bradley when I feel like he's inverting and not doing what I feel like he's best at, and that's to vary his game. There's too many players that are also underperforming, and for me personally, if the manager is the great manager that some of you guys think he is, if Ibu is so bad at passing, why not play Joe Gomez for this game? What harm is that? Because apparently Ibu can't pass. Ibu's not good in build-up. So if that's the case, why not use Joe Gomez then if that's the case? But here's the killer though. City's game plan was to put Haaland kind of like near Van Dijk and make Konate have the ball. Shall I give you a stat just quickly? Konate's accurate passes was 70 out of 75, 93%. Virgil had 47 passes, 41 were completed, had 87%. Konate can pass the ball. It's just that if people are hiding, who's he supposed to pass to? He either has to hoof it long or play a line breaking pass and hopefully someone picks it up. But our midfielders are hiding, especially McAllister. He's better than that. Show you want to play for Liverpool. Show some fight. Because some of the things I saw yesterday were just basics. And sometimes I do sympathize with the manager as well, because if the players aren't doing the basics, how can the manager implement a game plan? But at the same time, the players are looking devoid of ideas. Like, is this what you want me to do? We're getting kicked all over the pitch. So they're starting to lose confidence. They're like, you want us to do this, but this ain't working. Why are we doing the same thing over and over again? We need to fix up. I don't think, me personally, this ain't a slot in, pause, slot out thing right now. It's just a Liverpool thing. We need to fix up. We are way better than 8th, guys. I don't really care if you're slot in, slot out, like I said. Just forget about that for a second. Just focus on what we can improve as a team, man. Because this ain't good enough. Far from good enough, man. We got to do way better. And if we don't, we'll be struggling for top 4. That's big man talk. We will struggle. Don't just think because we won the league last year that the players are just going to fix up and we're going to be all right. We know how football goes. Sometimes it don't go your way. You have to be able. You have to want it. That starts from the top to the bottom. Pause. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, we can't be Liverpool Football Club and be lower than Man United and Spurs and Chelsea and all these teams. Huh? What? I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, we spent how much money to do this? I didn't come here to waste the season. And I understand things don't always go your way, and sometimes you don't always win the Prem. But at least show some fight and see where we can go. Let's see if we can win a trophy. Because we're still in Champions League. But we have to fix up.
I want to
then.
speak about that in a bit, but just going back to the game because I haven't said my opinion yet on it.
Yeah.
I went back and I listened to what Tom said, and Tom makes valid points. Like, I haven't denied that. I do think that there is some individuals that need to be held responsible. First of all, people saying I'm a professional fence sitter. I'm not a fence sitter. I'm slotting because I think he can turn it around. Very simple. I've never been a fence sitter my whole life. I've always had opinionated opinions on anything football related. So when it comes to this whole conversation, I'm slotting because I think he can turn it around. Very simple. Because I think it's slight tweaks and we can do a lot better. I hear what Tom is saying, but my thing is the following. We have to play to our players' strengths. I agree with what Callum is saying. I just disagree with the conclusion of like basically sack Slot, because my conclusion is I think he can turn it around basically. Because I think it's just a few tweaks, as we saw against Aston Villa, as we saw against Real Madrid, we end up winning. I agree with Callum's point because that's what I said we should do pre-game, which is basically low block, mid block, etc., and try to hit them on the counter attack. That's the thing that for me was the most disappointing thing in the game. If we just parked the bus and we just put Salah and Ekitike at halfway line, basically, I think we'd have had a much bigger chance. Yes, I understand his logic behind doing it. But if there is one team that you don't want to play out from the back, it's Manchester City, because it's pointless. What's the point? Like, that's the one team in the league that's well drilled at playing out from the back better than anyone else. There is literally no point in high pressing Manchester City because that's their bread and butter. Actually, as shown by Bournemouth, because I did that watch along. Basically, we tried to apply the Bournemouth at the beginning of the game. People don't understand this. Look, I think football is a chain of things. Meaning, we high pressed Manchester City, therefore giving Manchester City momentum, therefore giving Manchester City belief, therefore allowing Manchester City to create chances, therefore giving our players less belief, therefore putting our players in a position where they will make mistakes, where they will make errors, blah, blah, blah. Now, I understand we can sit up here and we can talk about individuals, because guess what? For the second goal, Van Dijk does put out a stinky leg. For the first goal, Konate does need to defend better. Robertson does need to close Matthews Nunes down. These are all facts. Third goal, I don't even look at because that's like an unbelievable goal. Nothing we can do about that. You get me? Maybe you could say whoever should close him down, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I just think he could turn it around. I think it's a few tweaks here and there, and we can do a lot better. My issue is right now is I watched that Manchester City game, and the biggest problem for me is I feel like Slot just went into it with a losing game plan. Like, it was so obvious what we needed to do because we all agreed on it pre-game, which is, let's be defensive, let's give them the ball, and we'll try to counter-attack. We have to play to our players' strengths. Yes, Nico O'Reilly pocketed Mo. We agree this. Everyone agrees. Yes, he got pocketed. But why am I asking Mo to do Maradona shit? Why am I asking Mo to be my outlet? And Tom pointed this out yesterday, our only outlet, by the way. Oh my God, Mo, here you go. Get the ball. Now I want you to dribble past Nico O'Reilly and try to find the killer passing behind, blah, blah, blah. Once again, relying on an individual brilliance moment, basically. That's why I want us to put these players in a position to succeed. Put the players in a position where we're doing what we're comfortable with. And by the way, even last season, when we were a lot better, we defended at the Etihad. There's nothing wrong with defending at the Etihad. Real Madrid defended at the Etihad. Arsenal defended at the Etihad. Like fucking Bayern Munich defends at the Etihad. It's okay. I think we should have went a lot more defensive, and we didn't do that. And that's the thing that irritated me the most with yesterday. As soon as the game started, we're like high pressing. And on the watch along, I'm like, oh, we're high pressing. Like in a shocking tone. Because I'm shocked that we're high pressing. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's the same. Go ahead, Callum.
No, I'll let you finish. So that's why I put my hand up. So I didn't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I want to ask you a question, Husam. You said you think Slot can turn it around.
Yes.
What are you basing that off? I'm not even trying to take a dig here. I'm genuinely asking.
I think Slot can turn it around because even what I saw in the Villa and Real Madrid game shows me that he is capable of finding different solutions. The thing that pissed me off is the fact that he reset factory settings for City, basically.
But if we're using the Villa and the Real Madrid game as the barometer as to why he can turn it around, why do we then neglect all the games he's lost
No, I don't neglect them at all because I actually think Slot is 80% to blame.
So
No,
that's my point.
I think the players are only 20% to blame. My only thing is like I disagree with the conclusion in terms of like I'm not Slot out yet because in order for me to be Slot out, it's a feeling. Meaning,
I'm
do
not
I
trying to
feel
get
like Slot
out.
can't take
I'm
us
not trying to
forward
get
anymore?
I know what you
And
mean.
we'll have that
Assam, I know what you mean.
conversation in the next segment, basically, because that's what I want us to do. Because I feel like we have to get over the City game, and then after that, we'll speak about this whole Slot thing. Because we have to have the existential conversation.
Can I quickly say something? Just to kind of add, and again, this ain't no trick, by the way. Obviously, you said you believe the manager can turn it around, yeah? But Liverpool losing 7 out of 10 games and you saying you think there can be tweaks. Why do you think he hasn't made those tweaks before, in your opinion?
And what are the tweaks?
Big up, Terry.
Big up,
What
Terry.
are the tweaks? The tweaks are... I think we need to be a lot more controlled in our approach to games. A lot less gung-ho. The Premier League is the best it's ever been now. Because anyone can beat anyone on any given day. We just watched promoted Sunderland hold the best team in the whole league to a 2-2 draw. Literally, out of nowhere. So for me, the approach needs to be a lot more careful, a lot more realistic. And whatever the fuck you're trying to basically mimic, which is you want to do this Pep thing, you want to do total football, you want to do PSG, people have had different interpretations. Some people look at like, you get me, what total football was like in the 70s and 80s. There's a reason why with Van Basten and Cruyff it didn't work. It's not going to work with Gakpo. It's just not. It's not going to work with Gakpo and Wirtz when it didn't work with elite players. Like, I just think we need to stick to basically trying to bring the best out of our players. And I agree with what James said on McAllister, because I actually don't think the deep role is the issue for McAllister. I think the issue for McAllister is like, what are we asking him to do on the pitch? Because McAllister played deep against Villa and against Real Madrid, and he was great in both games. But we
didn't play deep against Real Madrid. He was the furthest.
I think
he was against Real Madrid.
Okay, guys, when I say deep, let's not do semantic.
Yeah.
When I say deep, I mean like in that area in front of the center backs. Like, I'm not saying he was the DM. I'm saying he was just there, you know, and basically
he was
in
barely
the midfield.
there.
It was mainly, in my opinion, it was
he
mainly
wasn't like
Graven.
a 10, basically. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying for
he
me.
was the 10 pretty
No,
much.
I think Assam, respectfully, I think he may have been, because I feel like it was mainly Grav
We
and
played two
Soboslai.
advanced eights. We played 2 8s.
Yeah. No, I agree,
Soboslai
Tom.
and McAllister were 8s.
Agreed.
Gravenberch.
Oh, so I saw it as
Fair enough. I stand
yeah.
corrected. But regardless, with McAllister, like, it's just when we play to his strengths, you see him have great performances. Same with Gravenberch, except with everyone. I think we're making players uncomfortable now. Because Salah is 34. He ain't gonna dribble past Nico O'Reilly fucking 15 times per game. This is not 17, 18 anymore. Gakpo ain't a dribbler either.
Tom, can I quickly ask you a question? You know, when you at the start of the season, when I think was having a big debate about how he wants to play, yeah. And again, this ain't no trick. I just want this is like we're just having a proper football conversation. Do you see the PSG thing? In your mind, do you think he's still trying to replicate PSG, or you don't think so? All right. So if he's not trying to replicate, what do you actually think he's trying to do? So like, you know, like when you say things like, all right, with Arsenal, they might overload this part of the pitch, X, Y, Z. What do you actually think he's trying to implement that we just can't do?
I think he's trying to do as much of what we've done last season as possible. I think he's trying to go back to the principles of last season. But the difference is last season, the principles were built on the players that were there that we don't have anymore. So the big thing for me is the press. We lost in different circumstances 3 elite pressers. You can say what you want about Nunez's football ability. He was a donkey with the ball. But without the ball, he was a dog who would press well and work hard. Diaz was a dog who pressed well and worked hard. Jota, incredibly intelligent presser who worked hard. We've lost 3 of them, and replaced them with an average presser at best in Gakpo, an above average presser who's struggling with physicality in Wirtz, and 2 at best average pressers in Isak and Ekitike, combined with the guy we've got on the right, who is now a below average presser who doesn't work, who just sort of runs.
Would you not change? So knowing what you have at your disposal, like Husam said, you're supposed to make them changes, and this is why I think people are getting annoyed. So I think this is where I think we all kind of agree, right? You're saying he wants to play like last year, but he knows he hasn't got the players. But do you remember when he spoke in his press conference about the way how he wants to play football, and sometimes he has to do things that he doesn't want to do? Well, how about this, big man? There's a lot of things you might not want to do because we don't have the same players. So why not make those adaptations to make sure we don't look like we're going to get cooked every single game? And I think this is the frustration. We used to be a high pressing team. Even last year, might not press as high as the Jurgen Klopp era, but we still pressed like pretty decently well. Like we still pressed well. We don't do that at all no more. So if you can't press, you need to find a way. Now you can still press, but just not maybe as aggressively. This is one problem that I have with Arne Slot. I feel like he has these principles and he still wants to do, like you said, the same thing, but he knows he doesn't have the players. For me, that's a sign that's a red flag for me, you know. I'll be real.
I think it's
because you know what you have at your disposal. I know I can't do certain things if I don't have the ingredients. So do you know what you have to do? You're gonna have to change what you're about to do. If I went home one day and I wanted to make, I don't know, jerk chicken with rice and peas, and I ain't got the ingredients, I'm just gonna have to not make that meal anymore. I'm gonna have to go make something else. I'm not gonna still make jerk chicken and rice and peas.
Don't know nothing about
and
that.
turkey, am I?
He's toasty or something. And he
do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll be honest.
I'm trying to make jerk chicken and rice and peas with pasta and turkey. The ingredients are not there, big man. What are we doing here?
The way I look at Arne Slot.
Have you ever had jerk chicken?
No. Do you think I've ever had jerk chicken? No.
But you get what I'm trying to say, though.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
You've never had jerk chicken, Tom?
No. Thomas, you need to sort yourself out. Try some jerk.
But do you man understand what I'm saying or just saying?
Yeah.
Who's had jerk chicken, Thomas? Sort it out.
I get what you're saying, Matt.
You get what I'm saying, Tom? Yeah.
I just think ultimately, again, I might be massively wrong with this.
Yeah.
I think he's caught between squads. I think the manager is caught between squads. I think if you could ask the manager now what he would do, he would rather just fully commit to a new ideal. I think he would rather not have the Salah problem in parentheses of I've got to play my best player in Mohamed Salah, because I think that he wants to go to a variation with two up front. I think that's what he wants to do. But he can't do that whilst he's got Mohamed Salah here, because Mohamed Salah had a record-breaking season on the right. So we've got to try and keep him on the right and the same principles there. But
I understand that because
we don't have that work. Yeah. That worked because last year everyone went, Soboslai themselves work. No. You had a left winger and a striker who also done the work to keep him sort of protected. We don't have that now. It is getting exposed too many times. The games where it hasn't been exposed, your Real Madrid's, that's because we negate, for the most part, we negated the press. When we high pressed against Real Madrid, it was correctly setting traps and then triggering the traps. We didn't have a single press and trigger.
Does the manager not have the power to drop and put someone else in the team then?
He does. At the minute, though, he hasn't had the option there with Isak not being injured. I expect to see. I expect if I'm correct, and that's what he wants to do, I expect it to change after the international break. I also think, though, there's an element of, for lack of a better term, we know the shit that will go down if he decides to say Salah's not my best team anymore. We know the storm that will cause, and we know that.
What storm?
Come on, Cal. What storm? Do you think the media aren't going to be fucking on that straight away?
The media are on us now. What storm?
The storm of, oh my God, Arne Slot thinks Mohamed Salah isn't good enough to start for Liverpool Football Club anymore.
He's not good enough at the moment to start for this team. He's not.
I agree with that.
Isn't it the manager's job to make the hard decisions and to make the right decisions? What's best for the team?
There'd be a storm.
Say again?
Are you denying there'd be a storm?
I'm saying who gives a damn?
No, I agree, but I thought you were saying that there would not be a storm.
No, there'd definitely be a storm.
What's the big storm that can happen right now? Because
no. I think
Salah can't turn around and say, I demand to be in his team.
No, Cal, what you're saying is right, and what they're saying is right.
I agree with you, Cal, but I can't ignore the storm.
They agree with you that he's not playing well and should be dropped, but I think they're also understanding that the moment we drop Salah, like for example, you see when we drop Salah for the Frankfurt game. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
really?
Because I
That's
don't
my
care,
point.
you know. Yeah, we no,
Didn't the players come out?
no,
and
but
the manager
Carl,
come out and
there's a
say,
difference between
we
us
don't listen to outside noise. So
and
are they listening to
but
outside
the
noise
difference,
now?
but the difference between us and the media. What you got to understand is, and this,
No, we're not arguing
I
that.
get it. Frankfurt game, Salah was dropped. Did you see the big? Oh, Salah's not playing, and that's just one
Can I-
game, you know.
Matt,
And there was like a big hoo-ha about it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Carl, I'm not saying you think I care about any storm.
That's what I'm
I just
saying,
want
I
to
don't
freaking win
care.
games, bro. But what they're saying is true. It will happen. Because what the headline will be is
But there's a
Liverpool
storm
Football
right
Club
now,
look
Matt.
like
That's my
they've
point.
moved,
There's
But we're not
moved
denying-
past
no
Salah.
one's denying that. That's all I'm saying. No one's disagreed with you. And I think this is the issue with the
I think
discourse amongst the fan base at the moment is that there's a feeling that like we're all on completely different sides just because we stand differently on the manager. When we agree on a lot of it, but then we're debating about things we agree with because of semantics. We don't disagree with you, Cal. Like what you've said is spot on. We shouldn't care.
Cal, I think we need that.
One sec, Tom. I don't think anything that Tom said there contradicts the point that you're trying to make. I think because it's a heated situation at the moment, things are being missed from both sides. Listen, I'm sure you've had it plenty of times from supporters where they've misunderstood where you're coming from about certain things. I just think, I think you feel like we might be disagreeing with you more than you realise is all. Go on, Tom.
Okay, guys, and on that note,
I
let me,
think the last thing I'll say, Sam, the last thing I'll say on that topic, though,
go ahead. 'Cause I want to have
think
this
AFCON-
debate in a bit now.
I think
Go on.
AFCON will be a very interesting period if this manager's still in charge, which I expect he will be.
We've always done fine with Salah at AFCON. That's not to be bad at Salah. We've always done fine
It's not about whether we'll survive without him. It's about what the manager does without
No,
him.
we've done
And
quite good without
it's
Salah
the
at
immediate. I think it'll be more so the immediate aftermath because if during AFCON he's able to get Isak, Ekatike, and Wirtz all together in a front three type setup, and they click, and we go on a decent run, and then Salah comes back, that's where I'll be very interested to see what happens. Because I think that if he's able to get them three going after AFCON, Salah might be reduced in role. So we can set up in his new thing. I also think we've ultimately missed on certain parts of recruitment in favour.
I think it's the whole Salah conversation, and not just trying to
ball playing
defend him for the sake of it. You can't sit up here and tell me that the manager is at fault because of the shit system and the shit style and the shit structure, and then go like, "Oh yeah, we should drop Salah and we should sell him and Salah shit."
No, two things can be right at the same time, Husam.
I disagree, because by definition, if the system and the style are ass, which I agree with, you can't look at individuals.
Of course you can.
Because I'm putting them in a position to fail.
Yeah, I'm not saying
that's
you're not
my
fit.
logic.
So what's the excuse for the poor first touch, for losing the ball, for dribbling into someone rather than trying to get past them? What's the excuse for that?
Salah is not a dribbler anymore. There's a reason why the Egyptian national team here basically plays a right attacking midfielder.
He was fine against Carreras.
Yeah, he was fine against Carreras, but that's the game where we actually set up well. So my point is proven on that.
But
I don't think necessarily. I get
how
what
we
you're
set
saying on
up
an
shouldn't-
individual
how we
basis,
set up
but
shouldn't affect the
there
dribbling.
will be games.
Season.
I promise you, if yesterday
You're right, Tom. It
Chiesa
shouldn't affect his
played,
dribbling. You're right.
if Chiesa played right wing instead of Salah, we wouldn't have won the game. It
I'm
would
not
have
saying we
made
would have
a
won the game, but that's not to say that Salah was good yesterday. He's been crap this season.
I never said
crap.
Salah's been good yesterday.
So why
I
can't
said-
we
I
criticize
said
Salah?
no player deserves a good rating. I don't
didn't
think a
say
single
that you
player
can't
was.
criticize Salah. I don't. Anyway,
I
No,
think
but
the only one,
just
the only
said
one that
that-
I
You, no,
only
but you
one
just
that
said
I
Salah
think
shouldn't
yesterday
really-
was not at fault for anything is Mamardashvili. That's it.
You gave my fucking
It's
So,
the
so
penalty.
do you
None of
think
the
Salah
goals I
should be?
think you could have stopped. Sorry.
So do you think that Salah deserves to start for Liverpool right now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Based on what?
Based on when every single game that we have had that's been good this season is a game where he's had 45 plus touches, is a game where we set up properly in a correct structure and we end up winning the game.
And how many games
Everton-
is that he's played well?
Everton, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Aston Villa.
So
I
4
think
games.
I think is I legitimately believe deep down if we fix the structure and the style, Salah will play better. That's
So
it.
so 4 games out of all the games we've played this season justify him starting.
Yeah, but you can't name 4 good McAllister games. You can't name 4
I'm
good
not
Ekitike games. You
I'm
can't
not
name
saying
4
McAllister.
good.
I'm saying McAllister should be on the bench as well.
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying
for
how-
me,
But
we have
from a
different
squad
approaches.
standpoint,
I
Hassan,
don't
from a
think
squad
any player
standpoint-
should be on the bench.
So
I
what's
rate
the-
all these players.
So from a squad standpoint, then, if let's say I'm Chiesa, who won player of the month, Chiesa
With
won player of the
7
month.
minutes of football.
How is it I'm Chiesa and I'm going, right, he's played 4 good games in the whole of the season, but he should start ahead of me. How?
Mhm.
What? 4 good games all season. He deserves to start.
If Chiesa
Nah,
played
that's-
right wing, there is no game that we lost that he would change the result. And
We
I
say
love
that,
Chiesa more than anyone on the whole panel. I've learned the Italian national anthem. That in itself is a testament how much I love Chiesa.
Crystal Palace, he fucking scores in the 2-1 loss. If he started the whole game, who knows?
That's what I'm saying. How do we know unless he's actually out of the team and someone else gets a chance?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I legitimately believe if you drop him, I don't think anything changes. But anyway, let me just grab these supers for move on to have the slot conversation. Guys, can we get the likes up? We got 1,300 people in here. We're not even at 300 likes yet. You guys all are cussing Slot. You have worse conversion rate than him. At least his conversion rate is 50%. So close the live chat and hit the like button. And subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. Please, every single one of you. And all the links for these guys' channels is in the description. Sanderson Show, Kopish, Matt One Show, Tom Little, and James Redman TV. Slot and players are enemy of this club. Come on, is what Surrey was saying. Slot is forcing tactics that aren't working. Players don't believe in them, so they're not giving 100% and making silly mistakes due to low confidence. This is my thing. I think football is a chain of events. I don't think football is singular event and singular moments. If we sit back, City don't build momentum, players don't make mistakes, players feel a lot more confident. We keep a clean sheet, we don't concede a penalty for the first 25, 30 minutes, perhaps. All of a sudden, Liverpool feel belief, feel momentum, we start to counter-attack better, blah, blah, blah. I don't think football is just like, look at an individual moment and go like, this is where we lost the game, unless you're so dominant. And I kept this energy for Klopp and for Poch, actually, in certain occasions. With Jurgen Klopp, he dominated the fuck out of Man City at Anfield at home. So I called out the refereeing decision, and I called out Diaz missing out on one. You want to know why? Because we were fucking dominant. When we're dominant, I always call out the singular moments that I think could have changed the game. 5 out of 11 losses behind the enemy of LFC. What standards? This statement is going to haunt you forever, James. This manager has poisoned the club and the
I
players.
don't even care. Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? Fans selectively choose what they take serious and what they don't. So, like I said, for instance, that Arne Slot outers should have 5 life sentences. Do you actually think I want 5 life sentences for people? People just they don't know what to take.
You only want 4, don't you? You only want 4.
What? Yeah. No, they just choose what they want to choose, don't they? It's all right. It's all right. Everyone's rattled. It's fine.
The manager has poisoned the club and players with the shit tactics. Get him out before he continues to fuck things up game after game.
I find it so funny, by the way. And I know that you can get it on for yesterday, but I find it so funny that we're 5 days removed from people going, oh my God, did you see Arne Slot tactically outclass Xabi Alonso again? So the idea that he's just shit at tactics blows my mind.
We threw the Carabao Cup and only played 2 matches. Tired is what Navin is saying. To be honest, I do not believe fatigue is an excuse. Big up to Kier says, if we finish 7th, these lot will say Jurgen won the league once, almost in a decade. Slot has already won. It's been 2 years. Okay, relax, Akia. No one wants to that you now. Big up. Thank you for the super chat. Calma. These players don't like Slot. It's obvious. That's a conspiracy I'm not going to get behind just yet. I think that's a step too far, my brother. LFC 2025 played 48, 125, drew 6, lost 17, scored 86, conceded 62. Yet Tom Fraud blames duels. Though the manager admits his tactics made players late in duels. Tom lied, saying we went.
I never said we. So you're going on about yesterday. I explicitly argued that we didn't go man to man. I said yesterday that what we done was do a shit thing where we were in a shit mid block, and then players just randomly went up to press. One person at a time. And if anyone's ever watched football or played football, you know the easiest press to play through is when one person runs at you, and then when they're beaten, another person runs at you, and then one after that. That was how we pressed. We didn't press as a unit. We didn't press with any traps. There was no structure to the press. It was just, oh shit, Nico O'Reilly took a dodgy touch. Okay, Soberslide, run 40 fucking yards. Oh, they passed it round you. Okay, Ekatike, run over. Oh, they passed it round you. Okay, Vert, run over. Oh, they passed it round you. Okay, McAllister, run up. Oh, they passed it round you. Fucking shit.
Slot owners have made Hodgson era as the floor. Fucking hell. Liverpool standard. You have already given up on the league. Is that Liverpool standard?
The players have given up on the lead, surely.
We hadn't won the league 4 years prior to Slot coming in, to be fair.
I'll be honest with you, Shawnee. I think this is a very disingenuous comment because
No, the
we
players
have,
have given up. Surely
we have every reason
What's
to give up
Liverpool's
on the
standard?
league right now. 5 losses in 11, 17 goals conceded in 11 games.
Do you
I've
know
given
what?
up on the league too.
Sorry, Sam. Hammers, I
You know how
agree.
much slot in it.
People are pick and choosing what they want to hear and what they don't want to hear. Do you know what I've been hit with the most over the last couple of weeks? Bill Shankly's quote: "If you can't support us when we're winning, don't support us when we're losing."
It's a fake quote as well, by the way.
Yeah.
He never actually said that.
No, but
He did
do you know what
imply
other
it, but he never said that.
Yeah, do you know what other quotes Bill Shankly said? Finishing first is first, and finishing second is what? Nothing.
And Slot
Why doesn't
finished
anyone
first.
quote me? Why doesn't anyone quote me that quote?
And Slot
Liverpool is
finished first.
another one. Liverpool exists to win trophies. Why do I never hear that quote from Bill
The
Shankly?
season's not done.
Oh, cool.
Big up to
Season's
Piano
done,
Covers,
and
who
the
says,
manager
Husam,
you're talking about finish first. So again, it's not really the best quote to use.
we
but
speak. I
You
want
guys
us
think
to
we're
have a
gonna finish?
slot
Are we
on
finishing?
one.
Are we winning this league, guys? Yes or no?
I didn't say that to be
No.
fair.
No, I'm
but we
asking- I'm
won the
asking.
league last season.
We
I
did
don't think
last
we
season. Are
will.
we winning it this season?
To be
But
fair,
we're
though,
talking
Hammers,
about
that's
the
last
manager
season,
that
though.
won it. We're talking about the manager that won it.
I understand that you say Slot only needs to tweak little things, but he has consistently shown that he will revert back to type. This is the thing for me. Like, I don't know how many revert back to types I can survive. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, the people think
Trying my
yesterday
best.
was reverting to type.
No, I think yesterday was unnecessary high press against the best team in the league at playing out from the back. Big up to Gagan who says biggest red flag is Arne Slot on more than one occasion has shown to revert back to type after making tactical changes that have worked in an isolated game. When is enough enough?
But when are these occasions where he's done something that worked and in the next game reverted to type? Are we going Frankfurt because the next game he set up the same way against Brentford and we got killed? Are we going Real Madrid? Yes, the thing he changed was the midfield setup. He changed that we went with a 4-1-4-1 to a 4-2-3-1. But we kept most of the same principles, and we've done the same thing after Aston Villa. In fact, the one thing I'd say he did once and then reverted back to type was the Palace the box midfield against Palace. Didn't do that again.
Do you think we played a mid block yesterday, Tom, or a low block?
I think we got cut. I think he wanted to do what we did against Real Madrid.
We didn't play.
And we did neither well, so we ended up getting stuck in a mid block.
We didn't play a block.
When they would, we didn't set up properly for the high press. The one thing I will say is when they attacked slowly enough, we were in a low block.
If we're in between different blocks, then we're not playing a block.
No, we were in a mid block, Cal, because we were in between a high block and a low block because we didn't do either correctly.
The one thing that we wasn't supposed to do, and we did it.
Mm-hmm. We ended up doing the one thing we shouldn't do because the press was shit. And we were getting caught in transition too much, so we couldn't get into a settled shape in a low block.
Playing a mid block and then not even pressing the ball is just
I'll be honest.
Disaster.
I'll be honest. I don't understand why after the first 5 minutes he didn't put Szoboszlai on the right of a midfield four just to double up on Doku. You might lose a bit of transition threat, but we had fucking none anyway. You could at least because what ended up happening was Gravenberch after 45 minutes went out to him, and Gravenberch couldn't get a fucking hold of him anyway. Szoboszlai is the one guy on the pitch who I looked at and went, you know what, you can match Doku physically because Doku was quick. Doku was quick and he burnt Bradley on pace a couple of times. But the thing he was doing Bradley with the most was his strength. Anytime Bradley tried to knock him off the ball, Doku would just hold him off, and he dragged players 40, 50 yards up the pitch with his strength. So I don't get why he didn't put Szoboszlai on the right. That's the one part I don't understand because he should have really done a 4-4-2 and put Salah and Ekitike up top with Wirtz and Szoboszlai on the wings. He effectively should have done what he done against Frankfurt, or at least in a shape wise against Frankfurt against Man City. But he didn't.
Just last thing I'm going to say because I know Hassan's going to want to read out the rest of Super. Do you see now why where there's people that are Slot out? Because what you just explained, I think a lot of people would agree with you. But the one person that we needed to see that was the manager. The manager gets paid how much?
I get why people like that. I just don't agree with them.
But you see what I'm saying though? Can you see? That's why I don't want it to be this whole thing of, especially for people like Carl who has his reasons as to why. And remember, I'm not even fully with Cal on that one there. Like my thing is a little bit like some people say I'm copying out what, but I said I'll give him a run of games and see where we are. I wanted to see what will
Both
look
sides are
like
getting
against
it, though,
Forest.
Matt. Like
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
instance, me and Tom have had way more pelters than Carl has.
No, But no. Carl's been getting pelters, bro. Trust me.
All I'm going to say is look at the theme of this chat and look at the comments in the last video. That's all I'll say.
No. But what I'm saying, but bro,
and by the way, that might have been because you made great points, and I'm not trying to even say it's because your stance, but I would say heavily online, the majority is slot out than what it
online,
is.
probably, yeah. You're right.
And that's why on an online platform, more people will align with Cal. So the pelters that Cal's getting, if you want to even say we're getting just as much, but all I've seen, like whenever I've looked at the chat, is people rinsing me for whatever I've said.
One video, Hamid. No, but from one video. Remember, that's just one video. I got it from when I said I was slot out in after the Brentford game. I got it from the video I did the next morning.
I've had it since then as well. I've had it since our first loss. I've had it since last season when we were losing all these games in 2025. Like, we've all had it, so it's just
no. There's a difference between getting pelters because we're Liverpool fans and we're losing and being because of my stance. Once again, I never once said anyone who slot in is crazy, delusional, or anything. I said this is my stance. Don't call me crazy for my stance because I'm articulating. I'm showing reasons why. I'm not just doing the willy-nilly and just calling it out and doing the clickbait thing and all that. No, I've listed out a multitude of reasons as to why I'm slot out. So to then call me crazy and then to label me not a fan and all these things. I'm not saying this is you two, by the way, but these are the things I've been hearing. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off.
My standards are on the floor. I don't care about us winning. This is happening to all of us at the moment. This is a balanced thing. It's not just one person and whatever.
Hammers, I'm telling you what I've got in the last couple of weeks, bro. Like,
I'm telling you what
stuff I can't even share from DMs and stuff like that. Like, what are we doing?
No, I'm not trying to say that you haven't. I'm trying to say that we're getting it as well. I don't know. I don't understand why that's a miss or that's not being understood. We're getting it as well. That's the divide of a fan base. It's what happens when teams are losing. There's a divide. We'll see it in the comments. Mon's done a video on me on Never a Foul, and you should see the comments on that one. People were saying that like I was like laying into you and laying into everyone, like, and that's just the balance of it. That's the balance of it.
But just quickly, to go back to my point, no, Tom. Just quickly, do you understand why that? You see, as fans, I remember we're just fans. We just love the football club like to death. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but we can see things that can fix or potentially, because again, we're not coaches. We can just give our opinion as to what we think can help the team. But the coach is just not willing to do any of these things, and that's what's so frustrating, bro.
But the only part, I don't think he's not willing because he has done it. I'd agree with you. I'm not willing.
Let me just grab these guys so we can just move on to that.
So
was responsible for tiring the players out after a game like Madrid up the Reds. Yeah, I do think that definitely played a role. Fan base can't make their minds up. Cooked Cal for Madrid Villa for slot out, now cooking James and Tom for slotting. I'm slotting, but fans need to stop targeting people for opinions. I agree with that 100%.
Exactly.
Big up to Aman who says, you need to get Asim from Born and Red to the show. I've invited him, but unfortunately, I think he's been busy a lot of the times. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high is what Sinai is saying. Yes, sir.
Sam, do you know what still goes on Twitter after we lose? Remember that fucking space we did after we signed Arthur Mello?
Omar singing it.
And Omar sang, that still goes around.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but it was always the manager's plan that Salah holds bench this season. Then why give him a new contract? I'm so confused. You could just get on the best farewell after last season. I hear you, to be fair.
I think it's how the manager's seen it develop this season. I think he's realised as the season's gone on that the way he wants to set us up doesn't necessarily accommodate him and his and how he can't accommodate Salah in the way he wants to set up is what I'm trying to say.
If we were a top European club, would Salah and Gakpo be wingers who would compromise your defense? No, they would benefit your attack. Yes. Salah cooked Madrid Villa. He's getting blamed. Yeah. Saying fixing the style and structure is redundant. Liverpool are aggressive press team. It's your identity. You don't get to change that game to game. Actually, I don't think that's our identity anymore. That's the part where we disagree, to be honest. Big up content, guys. Hard to watch live because of the time. Big up to you regardless, Noor, and thanks so much for the super chat. Big up to Rod Mehta, who just sends an empty super chat. Thank you, brother. The players were bought to press aggressively. The players aren't applying themselves effectively enough, just as much as anything else. I don't think Ektik is an aggressive presser or Isak or like. I think this aggressive pressing thing is. You're actually the one that's a little bit copying out right now. You get me? So I don't necessarily think that. It is what it is. When will we talk about selling Salah? Cannot take on his man. Can't press, remains offside, can't shoot, can't cross, selfish, arrogant. You call him a legend. Yeah, he's a club legend, and having 4 bad games doesn't change
See
that.
what I mean? The fans are just off their head, man. They're off their head.
Saying Slot in out aren't real fans is so stupid. I agree. Do you think it's so fair to talk about a Mo being
Sorry, what was that? What was that
a Mo
last one?
transition plan?
No, he's saying whether
basically,
you're slot in or
he's
slot
saying
out.
can't say slot inners or slot outers are not real fans. Both sides are
He's
real
saying both
fans.
sides are, yeah, which is
Yeah,
which
he's
is
basically
right.
saying both sides are real fans.
Which
Anyway,
on this
big up to you
stream,
tonight.
on this stream from all 5 of us, I've never heard that come out of our mouths or the other. You've heard me say enemy of the club, but come on, I've also said 5 life sentences to Arne Slot out should be given, and I'm sure that can be taken as a joke at least, unless you genuinely think people should be prisoned for bloody having an opinion on football.
Yeah, definitely
That's the
not.
consequence when you stream to.
If we do that, then Tom is gonna end up in jail for a really long time. Anyway, let's have the slot conversation, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm gonna start off with Matt. What's your position on the manager now, and your thoughts on the conversation?
Me personally, I'm this close to being slot out. I've tried to give him as much time as I can to see if things are going to change. And don't get me wrong, I started to feel a bit like, oh, the manager, I think he might be fixing up after them 2 wins. The thing is, losing to Man City is one thing because they're a great team, right? And they can do that to a lot of teams, but it's the manner. And I did say before the run of games, I was like, I want to see how he does in these run of games. And so far, he's won out of the 4 games that I was willing to give him. He's won 2 out of 3. I want to see how he does against Forest, but my confidence in him, it's not looking good, guys, because we're in 8th place. And I understand why you can still be slotting because you're thinking that he can still turn it around, and maybe he can. But my worry is that right now, I feel like it's going in the worst direction and that he can't turn it around. And I don't know whether the players are going to respond to what he's asking for. I don't know whether we're going to finish lower than where we are now. We're in 8th place. We are at an all-time low for where we should be as Liverpool Football Club. And I get it. We all had high expectations, and rightly so. You could finish second and win a Champions League. That's still a good season. We'll be disappointed that we didn't retain the Prem, but we would have won a champs, right? You see the way we're playing right now. We can't be confident in any competition. Obviously, only time will tell us where and how far we're going to go. But the manager, for me, is making these errors. And one thing I don't like is, and again, I think it's just like it's the way how he is. I think he says a bit too much about us and what we do, how we play, what we're supposed to do, what we try to implement. I think sometimes you just got to keep things a bit in-house sometimes and try and work it out. Because one thing I don't like is when a manager said like, oh, the long ball and whatever is catching us out a bit, and we haven't found a solution for that yet. Bro, I know we can see that, but don't say it. And I kind of feel like right now he is treading on thin ice because he knows this is nowhere near good enough. And again, do you want to know why? Because he set the standard so high last season. That's why we were also happy going into this season. We didn't finish second last season or third or fourth. We won the league. And in our eyes, he bought some of the best players that we could have asked for. That's why I don't want to use the excuse of, well, the squad's not complete. No one's squad is complete, really, other than maybe Arsenal, maybe. But even they might say they want maybe one more player. And that's football. That's life. Nothing in life is perfect. You have what you have, and you go and utilize it. The manager's not utilizing, in my opinion, the players at their disposal. His instructions and his game plan, in my opinion, have been so off this season. I want to see what he does, but right now I'm on the verge of being slot out. That's my truth. And that could change tomorrow or whatever. But after that result yesterday, that battering, I just sat there and went, I don't know if we come back from this one, because the confidence of the players are at an all-time low. Are the players going to recover? Yeah, they'll probably recover. But is it going to recover enough that we can even finish second or third? Because you can't, in my opinion, have 5 losses in the Premier League and think you're going to win a title. It's not like it's not impossible, but it's very unlikely. It's not probable. We needed to have won that game yesterday, or at least get a draw. So that's my take on it.
You want to go next?
I mean, I still have my belief in the manager. I still think he can turn it around. I think that I'm not going to forget what he's done in the past 18 months. I can't forget that what he's done in the last 18 months is what he is as a manager. And what I've seen in the last 18 months is a man who has an incredible record against top teams for the most part. He's tactically outclassed some of the best managers on the planet. He managed to take a squad that I believed couldn't go on and win the league to win the league. This year, there's been problems. He's addressed problems, and then new problems have emerged. Has he been perfect? No. Has he been great? No. Do I think that sacking him fixes the problems? No. I don't. I don't think sacking him fixes the problems. I think that as it stands right now, he is the best manager available. That's not to say I haven't got an idea of who I would want if he had to go. I do know who I'd want if he had to go. But right now, neither of them are available, so I don't see why I'd want to get rid of who I think is the best manager available at the minute. I think that even this season, he's given me the signs that it can work. He's shown me that we've got the quality. He's shown me that he's got the quality as a manager to get the results, to make the changes, to adjust. I do think he's been hung out to dry by certain players underperforming this year. He's not faultless, but I don't believe that it's like a magic sack him, everything fixes. I don't believe that's the case. I would much rather back him for this season. Almost, in a sense, if it comes to it, let him fall on his own sword rather than sack him now. Because what could happen if you sack him now and then we finish second is people go, well, Arne Slot to finish second. Or all that stuff. So I'd rather if he has to go, I'd rather he makes it clear he has to go by falling on his sword rather than trying to jump the gun now, sack him, get someone who I believe is substandard, and then sitting there and hoping that new manager bounce and stuff can take us through. I don't believe that's the case. So I'm still backing him. He's still shown me enough over the past 18 months to fully back him.
When you say 18 months, Tom, wouldn't you say that the majority of the 18 months hasn't been of a high standard as opposed to have been of a high
disagree. Standard? We see the back end of last season differently, is what I've gathered.
It's not the back end of last season. 18 months is his
entire Liverpool career at this point.
Yeah, so from January 2025 to now November 2025, that's 11 months.
I think January till April was fine.
Okay, Fairs. When you say
I also you didn't like how the last 4 games of last season went, did you? You wanted us to take them very seriously and win those games.
Yeah.
I can't sit there now and lie and say I wanted that as well. I really didn't give a shit, so I can't sit there.
But in hindsight, you can understand now, though, and the reason I say that is because professionalism. I said
hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
No, not all the time. Because for me, professionalism is not just something you can switch on and off. Professionalism is a routine, it's a habit. You don't call someone professional who turns up when they feel like it. Professional is someone who turns up regardless of the situation and the feeling. Yes, there'll be outliers as in life, but if someone's usually referred to as being professional, then it means they turn up pretty much all the time. When you say he can turn it around, what do you mean by turn it around? What's the end goal? What's the finished article if he turns it around?
If he turns it around, I would imagine it'd be something like we drag back this season in the league. Because, well, do I think we win the league at this point in time? Probably not. But do I think we can still get a second place finish, a third place finish, which isn't good enough, but it's still, not. It's still the bare minimum, should we say? The bare minimum is making Champions League football for Liverpool Football Club at this point in time. That's the absolute bare minimum. Do I think he can achieve the absolute bare minimum? Still be disappointing, but the absolute bare minimum in the league, yes. Do I think he could then go on this season and potentially go far in the Champions League? I do. I think this squad's more set up for Europe. I think a lot of the players that we signed are more comfortable in European football. And I think that he's shown in Europe this season that he's got he can still tactically compete with the best managers in Europe, as he showed with Real Madrid. Do I think it would be a good season? No. But do I think turning it around it involves that? Yes, I think that ultimately for us, turning it around this year is a top 3 finish and a very good run in the Champions League with a domestic cup in the FA Cup as well.
Don't you think any other manager, not any other manager, do you not think there's another manager out there that can do that?
No. I can tell you the 2 managers I'd want to replace Arne Slot if he had to go. And they are Julian Nagelsmann and Inzaghi. They're the 2.
Inzaghi is not going to happen. You just moved to Saudi. But so why is it, in your opinion, you don't think Glasner, for example, who has won a domestic with Crystal Palace, won trophies in his past, if I'm not mistaken, why do you not think he could, for example, get a 3rd place finish and go far in the Champions League?
Glasner could, in theory, do that, but I don't like Glasner's personality as a manager. I don't think it meshes with what we've got. So it'd be it would. I don't think it'd last long term. And if I'm getting a manager, I'm doing it with the basis of long term in mind. So Glasner could, in theory, get 3rd place and get to the semi-finals of the Champions League. But I don't. I think the longest time Glasner spent at a football club is 3 years. I want a manager who I can see spending 5, 6, 7 years at a football club. Glasner.
Pep only spent 3 years, I think, at Barca and Bayern, and that City's been there for way longer. So just because a manager's been at a place for a certain amount of time doesn't mean they can't be somewhere else for longer if the environment's catered to what they want.
Okay, but the point is,
in the same way, when you're saying you don't think there's a manager better, I'm saying, how do we know unless we try?
Because I'm going off the history of Glasner, and Glasner has fell out with board and staff at Wolfsburg. He fell out with board and staff at Eintracht Frankfurt, and he very nearly fell out with board and staff at Crystal Palace this summer. He's a very divisive manager, and I don't think that works at Liverpool Football Club. He's a good manager. I'm not going to say he's not a good manager, but he's not a manager that I think works with how we set up. And I think you just see the same problems here that he had at other clubs, where he felt that ultimately his ambition wasn't getting matched for certain things. And yes, we had a very good summer this window this year, and it was a very ambitious summer this year. I can't say we're going to do that again. I can't say we won't go back to reverting to type, which is these shrewd pickups and these limited windows, which wouldn't match his ambition, as he's shown multiple times. So I'm not saying he's not a bad manager. I'm just saying I don't think he fits the way we as a football club operate, and I don't want a manager who I think is going to be butting heads with ownership and higher ups all season long. And then, so Glasner's an option. Who else is there? People say Iraola. I don't think Iraola's ready for the top job yet. I think he's doing very well at Bournemouth, but I don't think he's ready for a job with the pressure and the size of Liverpool Football Club yet. And I also don't think that throwing him in mid-season is going to help him achieve these goals. I think if you're going to bring in another manager like an Iraola, someone who is relatively unproven at the very top level, it needs to be done in the summer so you can give him all the opportunity to get his ideas across in a pre-season.
Wouldn't it be better if we're going to write off this season, though? Wouldn't it be better to do that now so we actually?
I'm not writing off the season.
He never said that he's going to write off the season.
No, I'm saying that.
But I don't believe that's the mentality you should go in with.
No, let me land. If we're writing off this season, for example, and we're saying we don't think we're going to win anything, then wouldn't it be better to give someone like Iraola a chance now, from now until the end of the season, get acclimatized with the squad, see who you might want to keep, who you might want to sell in the summer. And then in the summer, you have a fresh, clean slate, and then you can go again rather than bring him in the summer. In what similar to what Slot had to do, had to evaluate the squad first. Then we obviously didn't buy anyone. Yes, we won the league, but we didn't buy anyone. And then we had to have a massive clear out and a revamp and a transition in the summer the following year. Wouldn't it be better to give him from like January to the end of the season to see what he wants or doesn't want?
Ultimately, though, Cal, as much as that would be a wonderful idea in on paper, that's not how it works, because the manager, if he comes in December, January, whether we like it or not, he's still going to be judged on what happens from January to May. And if in that period of time we are not playing well and we are losing games, it's not going to be a case of, Men in Black. He just fucking flashes the thing at you and everyone forgets what happens in them 6 months.
Hence why I'm saying he would actually have time to watch these play in the same way Klopp had that time when he came in October to the end of the season. Klopp did that.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
in the summer,
No, yeah,
in the summer, he was able to.
first season. Yeah, in Klopp's first season, we took us to 2 finals. It's not like it was a case of the season was shit. No one really watched it, but we went, you know what? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
we can just get through it.
All right, so but that's the point. Jurgen Klopp came in and took us to 2 finals. Who's to say that couldn't happen with a different manager with different ideas?
I don't believe it does.
We don't have a crap team with Jurgen Klopp. Respectfully, the team was average. It's just that Jurgen was the equalizer. The team was
do you
average.
mean when he first came in?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When he first came, not when he left. Oh, definitely not when he left.
Yeah.
When he left a brilliant squad.
Yeah.
When he came in, the team was average at best. We all agreed going into this season that we can't do revisionism. We all agreed going into this season, this is the best squad Liverpool have ever had. Ever had.
Yep.
So surely, if another manager comes in who's good, doesn't even have to be Jurgen Klopp level. We'd love it to be. But surely that manager would be able to get a tune out of them. Surely. In the same way we say if a player's playing at an average team and goes to a better team, you'd effectively believe that they would improve because they're around better players. Hence why we want to play like Semenyo, who's performing at Bournemouth, and you think, if you put him in at a Liverpool team around better players, he's going to go up a level. We don't just buy players off Real Madrid's and Barcelona's. We buy players off lower tier clubs because why? We believe there's an upside in that they can improve. Why can't we do the same with a manager?
Because it's
We've
not.
done it with Slot. We did it with Slot.
And we can still do it.
But Arne Slot had more pedigree than the managers you're putting forward, in my opinion.
And Glasner?
Yeah, Glasner won a Europa League, didn't he? They're probably about the same level then. They're probably about the same level. But
I think the Europa League is a harder thing to win than the Eredivisie. Even for Slot, given that he wasn't the favourite to win it.
Mm-hmm. I'm also factoring in what he done at AZ though, with that team, and how he probably deserved an Eredivisie title that year, but the Eredivisie was the only league that didn't fucking continue. So maybe I shouldn't factor that in. But ultimately, I look at it as a case of, my stance on it. I don't believe you should be making managerial changes mid-season. I don't think it's conducive of success in any way. I still think Arne Slot is the best manager available to get Liverpool over the line with the trophy this year. Now, whether you agree or not, that's your opinion, and I won't ever knock you for that. But I believe that he's still the best manager available for what I think we need, and I think that he needs to now showcase that, and he needs to showcase the manager that he was last year, where he was ruthless, where he was tactically, switched on, and he needs to showcase that it wasn't just a case of inheriting a good squad. It's him who's a manager. I believe that is him. He needs to now showcase that for him.
First, James, what's your thoughts on the whole situation?
Go on, chat, get the boos in, get the boo. Right, yeah, right. So this is my saying. My stance hasn't changed on the manager. I'm very different to like a lot of people. It doesn't mean I'm better, which a lot of people have accused me of saying, which I've never said once. I've never said I'm a better fan than anyone. I've never said I'm more knowledgeable than anyone. I've actually always conceded that there's things that I've missed plenty of times. I don't think that any manager should be tested just season by season. I think a manager can more than certainly live off the credit that they've given the team or shown the fans over the course of their career at whatever club it's at. In this case, Arne Slot as that's who you little shit. I'm live on stream. Yeah, I think Arne Slot last season, I agree with Tom. I don't look at the end of last season the same way you do. I do believe that you can take 6 steps back to go 10 steps forward. And the old system that we had under Klopp, and I'm looking at it now, we obviously finished 3rd and 5th in our last 2 seasons. The season where we finished 5th, we lost 9 games and drew 10 of those. So we've actually ended up not winning half of our games of football under Jurgen Klopp that season. And that was mostly due to the fact we got caught out and our system got caught out. The season after, we ended up having an absolute stinker in the Europa League. And we finished 3rd from quite a favourable position from January and February, being top of the league that season. and Jurgen Klopp weren't getting pelters despite not winning the league for 4 years. I think criticism is absolutely fair, and I think where people are a little bit close-minded when they hear maybe my point of view or Tom or anyone who's backing the manager, they think that we're justifying what's going on right now when that's not really the case. I think you can absolutely accept we can struggle, but me and Tom, for instance, can see a better path down the line. And that doesn't have to do with anything we saw in the City game. It doesn't need to be anything to do with what we saw in the Brentford game. We can use Real Madrid, we can use Aston Villa, we can use Atletico Madrid, which I thought was a good performance, though a lot of people disagree because of the scoreline. Arsenal, so on and so forth. I think these are glimpses, these are examples to what we can do on a consistent basis. The reason why I think Arsenal are very consistent this year is because they have not had to replace. They have only added, and that is something that has took them an unbelievably long time to do. And I'm not saying I'm even wanting to give Arne Slot 8 years to build this project. I'm saying I'm giving him the season, which I don't think is outrageous to ask for a manager who won us the league for the first time in 4 years, our second league title in 34 as well. I also look at examples like AC Milan, for instance. So when you look at prime AC Milan, the one that everyone looks back to and goes, oh yeah, this was the best team on paper. You also had the fact that they had Carlo Ancelotti as manager as well, who actually only won 1 league title in 9 years at AC Milan. And again, I'm not asking for 9 seasons for Arne Slot, but I did see Carlo Ancelotti get to finals of European Cup competitions, for instance. I did see him simultaneously while getting to those finals. So when we beat them, and let me just make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah. So when we beat them in the Champions League final in 2005, they finished second. The season after, they finished third and won no trophies. The season after that, they went on to win the Champions League while finishing fourth. Now, I'm not asking for those same standards to where we don't win the league for the next 3 years. I absolutely agree. The project is over the next 4 or 5 years. I want us to be having, I'd say, at least 2 to 3 Premier Leagues and also 1 or 2 Champions Leagues. And I think if you can reflect, including last year, so last year plus the next 5 years, if I can look at the first 6 years of Arne Slot, and he does have those things, great. But guess what? We're only 18 months into the season. So my substance isn't based off of a couple of bad months. I understand you think it's longer. I think last season, I don't think you win the league by just having a terrible end to last season. We still won the league and we walked it. And I'm the same with Tom.
I think it comes down to how people view the end of last season. So Cal says...
That's what I'm saying.
Cal says that... I don't know the stat you use, Cal, but it's like we've lost how many games in 2025 or whatever. And you went through it and you think we only played well in 10 games. So I look at that and go... I went through it yesterday. We had, in my opinion, 16... Based on how I viewed it, 16 relevant games in the second half of the season.
I just want to summarize like what I was saying. We can go into that discussion, but like I completely get it. I haven't spoken much this stream for a reason because I'm not trying to disrupt the flow of the show. I've been absolutely bollocked for like just having the same way Arne Slot has have an opinion. For me, saying my opinion, people seem to be thinking I'm claiming to be a better fan than them, which I don't know if it's just because I'm Scouse and they think I've got that preemptive thought in my mind. Not the case at all.
It's because of the tweet, Hammers. That's what it is.
It's because of the tweet, but I also put on Instagram, which has more followers. Slot fans deserve 5 life sentences, and I obviously do
it's different audiences. It's different.
What was that?
It's different audiences. So
it's different. No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying if everyone's going to take everything so literal online, then let's take everything literal, all right? Because I think if we're going to be intellectually honest, I don't want you to be nicked for 5 life sentences for not managed Slot out to.
No, I know that, but so when you did it on Instagram, you did it as a video, right?
No, I done it as a post.
Okay, so the one on Twitter, the reason why that's going to get people's backup is because it seems though anyone who's got a difference of opinion to you is seen as someone who's not trying to get the club to progress. And again, I'm going to be straight.
I never said that.
I'm not saying you said, but I'm saying that's how people have taken it. I didn't take it away, but remember, I know you, Hammers. So it's going to be different with us.
By the way, Cal, I haven't got an issue with it. People choose what they want to listen to, what they don't want to listen to. They'll happily take the one thing as a joke. They don't want to take that as a joke. That is fine. The people who want Arne Slot, what they don't realise is they're basically saying the same thing. but they're just not saying it in the straightforward, jokey way that I put it. So when you say Arne Slot out is the best thing for this football club, that's your decision that you've made based on the information that you've provided to us. I am on the... But that means when
I never said anything, but the difference is I never said to anyone who's Arne Slot in that they're wrong. So I'm not even saying you're wrong.
By nature of your opinion, you're saying I'm wrong. Just by nature of the opinion.
No, I've said it a few times, Hammers, that I don't think that anyone who's Arne Slot in is wrong, crazy, or anything. I just don't understand it. In the same way,
you don't understand it, and therefore you can't think it's right, can you? You can't think it's correct.
I genuinely just don't understand it, bro. Like, and again,
so
no one's been able to argue
it. Be correct.
No, but I don't think. Again, I'm not saying you and Tom haven't articulated yourselves. I'm just saying no one's been able to articulate in a way for me that
I don't have an issue with people slating me for it. I don't have an issue. That's why, I wanted the platform there to clarify what I went. It's why I brought up the 5 life sentences thing, because it's not serious. When I've came out and I've said, yes, your opinion's different to mine, I don't think that opinion's correct. That's all right to do. That's normal football pub chat. But I think people are taking this as if it's proper political discourse and it's got to be taken really serious, when actually we're just a bunch of mates having a chat about footy. And to yourself from the other side, to Tom, which I've seen in the chat, to me as well, the personal insults just take it one step too far, right? That's all I'm saying. And that tweet that you're speaking about specifically, nowhere in that tweet did I say I'm a better fan than anyone. Nowhere in that tweet did I say, you can't support this club or make decisions for this club. But yes, as a joke, as a big Arne Slot supporter, I did say, by you sacking that manager, I think you're ruining the potential long-term success of this football club. That's a footballing opinion. It doesn't mean you're less of a fan than me. It doesn't mean I'm more intelligent than you. That's just by nature of my opinion. I don't think sacking him's the right choice. Because I think in the next 4 or 5 years, I think you can have a bad season. I think any manager can. Carlo Ancelotti's had it. Jurgen Klopp's had it. Pep Guardiola's had it. Every manager's had bad seasons. I want the litmus test to be ran before I say, right, let's scrap all the plans that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards backslot with by going with a 3 at the back manager in Glasner, who's going to want a whole set of new players, resetting the whole cycle. I'll also sit here and say, when clubs go through the cycle of sacking managers, there's far more bad examples than good. The only good that you can really see is Chelsea, who've regularly sacked managers, and it's worked out for them winning trophies. Outside of that, I have not seen a club do it and it be successful. PSG had to stick with Luis Enrique to go and win the Champions League. Every other manager who went and won the league but failed in the Champions League, it was a case of, right, they need to be sacked. Absolutely not acceptable whatsoever. Only Abramovich at Chelsea, who had to breach financial rules and things like that and get Chelsea suspensions, was the only one who done it well. I'm saying, let's stick with the manager. I'm not saying give him 9 years, 8 years. I'm saying give him this season. Give him the entire season. And then next year, if we go into the first 4 or 5 months and it's still the same, then fine. But then people will come to me and say, well, you're just writing off this season. By that logic, we wrote off seasons under Jurgen Klopp. 8 out of the 9 he was here. I don't think that. We always felt we were going somewhere, and I think we can go somewhere. When we finished 5th under Jurgen Klopp, I didn't think that was going to be the forever norm. I didn't think, right, next season we're going to be 7th. I thought, you know what, next season we can compete. And we did. And then we ended up finishing 3rd. We dropped off at the end of the season. I still love Jurgen to be at the club the season after.
My thing is, though, when we say... Let me just say one thing. Look, when we say give him till the end of the season, look, even as someone, I'm backing Arne Slot, but I don't know if I give him to the end of the season, because if we lose, let's assume, right, we come back from the international break, let's say we lose the 3 games after that, as an example, right, then you're on 6 wins, 8 losses. That's relegation form. So at some point in time there's going to be a cutoff point. That's actually what I said before the Villa Madrid City 3-game run. I was like, man, guys, they're gonna have to be some cutoff point at some point in time. But we ended up beating Villa, we ended up beating Real Madrid, and okay, hopefully this is the thing where okay, we're basically starting to turn it around. My problem is then you go back to the City game and it's just not fucking working again. The reason why I back Arne Slot at this moment in time is just because I believe that he can turn it around. And I think he has the tools to turn it around. And I think he has the capabilities of turning it around. That's it. It's for me, it's way less complex and complicated. And I'm not even looking at last season's league title. Of course, that plays a role because winning a league title does give you a bit more leeway, etc. So I understand that. I'm simply saying, as things stand right now, I look at the team, I look at the squad, I look at the manager. I'm like, okay, he can turn this around. He can switch things around. So I am backing him. I'm basically slotting until I have that feeling. Because my thing is, this for me has never been about a time frame. Meaning, I've never given like Slot, okay, Slot, you've got the next 2 games, or I'm going to be Slot out. I've never felt that way. For me, it's more about like feeling than anything else. Meaning, if I feel like Arne Slot can't take Liverpool forward anymore, I'll just say Slot out. If I feel like he cannot take Liverpool forward. At this moment in time, I'm not at that point. I still believe actually that Arne Slot can take us forward. I still believe Arne Slot can turn this around. I still believe Arne Slot can make the necessary tweaks and adjustments to the style and to the structure and to the system in order to put us in a position to win. I think it's possible. I don't think it's impossible. That's why I am backing him right now. But at the same time, I do have a cutoff point, meaning I can't just sit here and wait till the end of the season because we come back after international break, we lose 3-4 games in a row. I don't know how I'd feel then. If we're on 6 wins and fucking 10 losses, 11 losses, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh yeah, I'm backing the manager to the end of the season. I like, everyone has a cutoff point. And by the way, there's a reason why the club haven't given him a contract extension. After the first 5 games of the season, there was conversations about it. We were sat here going like, Slot's extension, Slot's contract, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden that eased off. And the fact that eased off shows me like, okay, maybe the club even are okay, taking a step back. Let's see how he handles this situation, and we'll take it from there. So that's it. Like Frankfurt, Villa, and Real Madrid. Tactically, very good, astute, solid defensively. Don't concede chances. Guys, against City and against Aston Villa and Real Madrid, we conceded 1 big chances in 180 minutes of football. We conceded 1 big chance in 180 minutes of football. That's why I haven't yet said Slot out, because I think we are capable actually of replicating this game in, game out, if the manager just fixes up his ideas, basically. Which is why when Callum was speaking about, basically going defensive away at the Etihad, I agreed with him, meaning even pre-game, I said this. I said this pre-game. I was like, and then the game starts and we start high pressing Man City. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Husam, I hate to even do this, but you see, you just said you think you can turn it around based on the Frankfurt, the Villa, the Real Madrid game.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the equivalent of what Nunes fans were saying last season when they're like, yeah, but he scored in this game and that game and that game. He can just give him a chance and he can turn it around. Isn't that the exact same? And me and you went at them and they were like, brother, it's 3 or 4 good games. Like how many
I'll
games?
tell you why it's different with Nunes.
We played what? 50? How many games?
The size was way too big.
So how many games have we played? We were like this from the first season, Sam. Let's be real, bro. We were.
Nunes, I didn't want Darwin Nunes from before he was a Liverpool player.
Yeah, no, that's not his point though. But he's just basically all he's saying is that obviously the people that believed in Darwin always kind of felt like if you just give him a bit more time or make these adjustments, he can still be good.
It was one-off instances where he was showing it, not consistently, but Slot consistently. Last season,
last season.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's agreed. I agree with you. But where's
never won us a league?
First half of last season, he consistently showed it. Second half,
that's where we differ. That's where we
differ. Yeah, but 1 second. Let's assume that the first half take is correct. Let's say you guys are both correct, and Slot only basically showed it in the first 6 months of last season.
Showed it consistently. Consistently in the first.
Okay, no problem. Consistently. Nunes never had a consistent 6-month run ever. Nunes' most consistent run was like what, 2-3 games max. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
but so that's why I never had that.
Based on this season,
comparison, it's just maybe not the best one to use.
I know, but based on this season though, this season in isolation, out of how many games have we played so far this season in total? Was it like 16, 17?
That's what I was going to say though, Cal. I think what we're doing as well is we keep referring back to we can't discredit last season, by the way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not discrediting. Last season, we were cold.
Yeah, right,
we won the league.
Slot isn't performing, and we all acknowledge that.
But this is what I'm saying. So when we keep saying last season and crediting the bank, we understand all that. I just want us to stay on this particular season because I know Cal's point is also referring to there were elements of last season that have also crept into this season. But I just want to focus on this season. This season alone, just this season, we won 5 games in a row. But I don't know if every Liverpool fan felt the same. We were like, oh, bro, we're top of the league, innit? But deep down, you were like, oh, but we had to get some last-minute goals, though. I can't lie. It's not like we've been the coldest in all them games. We kind of had to. We had moments of brilliance to get us to win those games. But we all kind of said, like, oh, do you know what, though? We need to improve, though. Like, we're winning games, but we need to improve. What's happened, though, is that we didn't improve. And for some people that was saying this ain't sustainable, well, they were kind of on the money because it wasn't sustainable. And this is where we are now. Because when we got those wins...
Klopp, though, don't you reckon, Matt?
Say again, sorry?
You know, from like the last 2 seasons with Klopp, I think it was demonstrated our style of play weren't sustainable to keep winning trophies.
Yeah.
And I'm not clapping on Klopp. I wouldn't have never sacked him.
No, of course not. Of course not. But one thing I'll say, James, though, is that I know we keep referring back to Klopp as well. And Klopp built an amazing squad. I just feel like maybe the last couple of years of Klopp maybe
4 years
went down. No. I agree. Went down a little bit. But here's the killer, though. Does the squad that Slot has compared to Klopp, would you arguably say it's even better?
It's nice.
Yeah,
I'd say it's on. Definitely, people forget we had Mane, we had Firmino.
No. Facts.
As squad.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are we talking about Klopp's last season or
last 2 seasons?
We can talk about the last couple. You can talk about the last 4. These are players that he had at his disposal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Even let's say like last 3, 4, like this squad here. Regardless of whether you think it's better or not.
Here's the thing, though, Matt. If you're talking about the team that had, if you're talking about the team, I feel like there's 2 different squads, though. If we're talking about the one that was like had Mane and Firmino,
but we won. We won the Prem and we won the champs. That's undeniable.
No, so are we talking about the Nunez Diaz part?
Yes,
yes.
I'm talking about
Matt. Do you know what else we're forgetting is that we've brought in Isak, who, by the way, hasn't had a full track of games because of his late pre-season. He's had a couple of injuries. That can't be blamed all on the manager, can it? So like,
no.
And I know you're not saying that, by the way. I'm just asking
the
question. And then Vert, he just hasn't kicked off yet. And yes, we're struggling to find where we get him in the team.
Yeah.
These are teething issues that I would want to get out the way initially. The point is we lost Trent, who was a huge player. Tom said it earlier.
That's big facts. Big facts.
It's a big player to lose. And I'm sorry, we've seen the form of Luis Diaz this season. I was never one of the fans who was claiming for Luis Diaz to be out. So I'm being consistent here. I love Luis Diaz. A player leaving like that is huge. Oh, but like
someone wanted to Luis Diaz gone, and it ain't.
I'm still fine with that decision. I stand by
our major signings is Isak, Vert, Kirkes and Frimpong. We can say that they're more like they're good signings, but they're not that level. But we lost 2 major players as well.
I hear it.
And when you've got a transition, I just want a manager to have the chance to transition. Do you know what I'm saying?
But funny you say that. All right, Hammer, just quickly, Carl. I don't want to say something. Funny you say that, yeah? When Klopp would ever buy a new player, it's very rare that he threw them straight in the firing line straight away, unless they were just like the coaches.
Kirkes shouldn't have started the season. I agree.
All right, and remember, I was a big advocate for Kirkes, yeah, and I was saying, and this is where I can admit, I'll hold my hands up. I'm honest. I'll say I wanted Kirkes to start. I see Kirkes start, and I thought, I don't know, man. The way he's kind of utilized,
because I think
fair.
Right now,
the way, it's the way he's being utilized. Again, what I didn't understand is, all right, so you brought in new players. You don't have to necessarily play all the new players straight away. At least get them acclimatized. I think that's maybe where we went wrong as well. Maybe the manager. And I think now he's learning that. And now what he's trying to do is he's like, crap, we ain't even got that acclimatization period now. We just have to throw them all in because we're in a bad position right now.
I don't think the manager had that time.
Squad option. You had Diogo Jota and everything that happened with him. God rest his soul. And then you also had Luis Diaz go. You had Trent go. You had Kwanzaa go, who was a solid centre-back option because he wanted more game time. We then fell through on the Gahey deal. If you want to look at the squad and say there's holes in the squad, then we've got to be looking at Edwards and Hughes for that reason, about not capitalising on certain things sooner, like Gahey, for instance. We can all admit that there's still holes in the squad, but for the 2 world-class players we've let go, we've brought in 2 world-class players. One of them hasn't been able to play much. And I think people are just forgetting that. They're just looking at the 450 mil. And it's funny because in the summer, we were all happy to contextualise it and say, actually, we've spent 450 mil in 4 windows, and now everyone wants to say, well, we've spent it in 1, so we need immediate success. But why do we have a divine right to have immediate success over a team who's had an 8-year project and being able to add to their squad and not have to replace? And I'm not saying that justifies 5 losses, but it still can be a transitional season because the old style of play weren't sustainable. We need to evolve, and that can sometimes take more than a season for me.
Transition season still means you can win the league, though. We've seen other
transition seasons can still mean you win the league, but it's not a divine right for the team who's won.
I never said we have we never have a divine right to do anything in football. No one does.
And that's why I don't want the manager sacked, because I don't think it's divine right.
Genuine question for the whole
panel. Why did you spend 450 million?
Sorry, guys.
Hold on. Why did we all believe we'd win the league going into into the season.
Because we looked at the players we brought in and we thought, you know what, these are going to click straight away. It hasn't happened, but you can change what your belief originally was just because you predicted something. We all predicted City to win the league last year and we won it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But if we all
there we
predicted Liverpool to win it, despite knowing it was a transition,
yeah,
and we're not that we're close to the top. It's not like we're a couple points off.
Yeah,
we are far away from where we want to be.
20 times under Jürgen, and I never wanted him sacked either.
Did Arne Slot set the bar too high?
No, he didn't.
So I wanted to ask
you. Had a league winning squad plenty
Did
of times.
Arne Slot set the bar too high in his first season to the point now where he's struggling to match that bar?
There's no comparison between Klopp and Slot. There's no comparison between the two.
The comparison is that we had teams that were good enough to win the league. We didn't win it, and that was with teams that were gelled, that were together for 4 or 5 years. This is a team where the players are not gelled together yet. And if we're looking to improve over the long term, if we're going to stick with a long-term project, which I think is more sensible, because if you bring in Iraola and he doesn't improve us immediately, we've then got to risk him trying to be as good as Slot was in his first season next season, and there's no guarantee on that. And there's no guarantee on Glasner as well. But we have seen substance to where Arne Slot can do that.
But there's no guarantee Slot's going to turn this around either.
There's more guarantee that a manager who's already won the league is going to win the league again in the next 2 or 3 seasons than there is for Glasner or Iraola.
There isn't.
There's absolutely more guarantee. He's proven he can win the league. If you look at his Wikipedia, there's a Premier League title that he's got to his name. Glasner doesn't have that.
Di Matteo won the Champions League. There's no guarantee he was going to win the Champions League next season.
And if Iraola and Glasner doesn't work out, for instance, you then get into a merry-go-round of sacking managers, which is something I don't want to do. All I've ever asked is for the litmus test to be given to Slot, and I don't think that's been given to him just yet.
This is
here's my thing though, Callum. I'll be honest with you. If you can give me if tomorrow you're telling me, Husam, the new manager of Liverpool, listen, I liked Iraola, but I'll be honest with you, I'm like, after what he did away at City, I'm like, fuck, I'm not sure this guy is that tactically malleable right now. Glasner, I think, doesn't suit our players. It's like Ange going to Forest, but in
we need to go 3 at the back. We might as well get Amity.
I don't think it suits our players. Here's my thing, though, Callum. If you tell me tomorrow, we're gonna hire Zinedine Zidane.
That's the October manager of the month.
No, 1 second. If you tell me tomorrow we're gonna get Zinedine Zidane, I'm like, oh shit!
Carlo Ancelotti won 1 league in 9 years at AC Milan, by the way, with that team that he had.
He did, but if you offer me tomorrow,
that weren't even just the best 11 at that time. We're talking about an all-time.
But that's
hear me out. If you offer me tomorrow
11, yeah.
If you offer me tomorrow like Zinedine Zidane to manage Liverpool, I'm like, okay, now I'm tempted. Now I'm thinking.
I wouldn't.
But at least I'm thinking about it. But Iraola and Glasner, I'm not there. I don't feel that way about them.
Why? Because
Iraola I really like, to be honest, but I just don't think he's malleable either.
Why? Because the names. It's about the fact.
But I also think people are scared of change.
It's not about the names.
Can I say something quickly, guys? Just quickly. When Klopp left, I have to hold my hands up. I didn't know about Arne Slot. I thought we were gonna get either. I thought we was gonna get either Alonso or Amorim. Big up Tom, big advocate for Amorim. Come on, my broski. But no, all jokes aside. Sorry, Tom. All jokes aside.
Hey, that's what Premier League October manager of the month.
That's true. That's very, very true. But here, what I'm gonna say though, I didn't know much about Arne Slot, and he was an unknown quantity. And I remember I was speaking to Carl, and I was like, Carl, I know he's good, yeah, but like, do you think it's gonna like? I don't know if this is gonna transition into the Prem. Like, is it gonna be an adaptation period? My man shocked the world, bro. Won the Prem in his first. I said, what? I said, this manager's cold. And don't get me wrong, we did not win the league by accident. Don't let no one fool you. We were just the best team in that league. I don't care about other people's standards. I could give a monkey's what rivals think. What your club does is your business. Yeah. What I'm saying right now is that we won the league last year. That's amazing. The standards you have set for this club is what we want to see. There's particular standards that we can at least kind of like, all right, cool. It wasn't our year. Rare. There's circumstances. Let's say we win a Champions League and finish 3rd. I still think people will be like, oh, we didn't win the Premier, but we got a chance. We're in 8th place. And I know a lot of you guys on the panel are saying he can fix this, but a lot of us, including myself, that's why I'm on the verge of being started thinking, I don't know if he can, bro. Because the evidence to suggest that, because this is his first big crisis that he's really having. And I'm just looking at it now. 7 losses in 10. Broski, that's not what I see like in teams that are in 17th and 18th, you know. Those are the teams that you look at. They're in really, really bad form. I think their manager might get fired. what I'm scared of is that we're a loyal fan base, but sometimes loyalty to the wrong person can be the wrong thing. And it's kind of there's a fine line because we can be loyal to the manager and give him more time. The problem is though, it could get so dark to the point where we're sitting there in 11th and we're going, oh my gosh, bro, why did we not get rid of him before? That's what my concern is. That's what I'm worried about.
But that's ultimately where it comes down to. Do you believe it gets to that point? I believe that Arne Slot. So a lot for me this year. And again, I know what the comments are going to be like. Yeah, they're fucking hated me on stream. You're going to hate me again. We've had a very tough start to the season. We've got coming up a run of confidence games where we play the shit teams in the league that can't defend. We do. We've got Sunderland in that run, which is a tough game. But we get to play in the next 5-6 games in the league. We get to play Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Leeds, and Brighton. All of them struggled at points this year.
Arsenal have gone away to Man United, away to Newcastle, away to Liverpool, and had City at home in their first four of their first 11 games. This is the Prem. No game's easy in the Prem.
I'm not saying games. I'm not saying. Okay, Cal. I never said there's loads of easy games, but I'm saying that we are getting onto a run where we play easier teams. We play one team that are in the bottom 6 all season. We play one team that are in the bottom 6. One. Like I'm just saying that we're gonna get.
Here's the thing,
you're more confident.
We're gonna get a confident run coming up where we can play the shit teams and build everything up again.
Using that logic is all well and good, but if after the international break, 1-1 draw to Nottingham Forest, then what?
Then there's even more pressure on him.
Yeah, let it happen. But everyone thought we would have lost, drop points to Villa, then Real Madrid, and we got points against them, so we can get a run. And by the way, the only reason why I mentioned Klopp and Ancelotti, these are elite managers who had below par seasons with teams that were more than capable of winning the league. And I think Arne Slot can do the same with the better resources that he's been given above what Klopp was given, for instance, in the immediate term. It's just not going well right now.
Do you not think we're in a crisis? Because I think we're in a crisis. Yeah, bless up. Do you not think we're in a crisis? Because I think we're in a crisis. Like, do you know
what we were expecting? Then yes, but I don't think it's like we're going to be getting in bottom half challenges or anything.
No, not bottom half. But because we're Liverpool, a crisis to us is like we're not even in the top 4 now. Don't get me wrong.
We're definitely in a lot of games
in
the context. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we're in a crisis. I know, obviously, season's far from over. Like we can still get back to it. But right now, bro, I think we're in a crisis, bro.
The form's bad, but crisis tells me like, are we heading towards like the promised land of 17th? Not 17th. Let's even say 7th. Let's even say 7th. I don't think
we've lost 6 out of 7 in the Prem. Am I right? Is it 6 out of 7?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Slot. So the reason why I keep bringing up Jurgen Klopp again with the bad seasons, he lost 9 games in 22-23. Ancelotti in 2008, they lost 10 games at AC Milan. Like, the point is, a manager can have an off season, finish 3rd or 4th eventually, can turn it round, given the end of the season, like what we did in 2021, where we were really poor. We found a little bit of rhythm towards the end, while still having the injuries, by the way. But we ended up getting better tactically. We adjusted. Once this manager adjusts with the new players that he's been given, the data suggests that he is great at raising players and getting them back into form, despite them not being in good form previously. So I'm willing to run that test. And guess who else is? Edwards and Hughes. Otherwise, these are sacked them by now. Do you know what I mean? And
of course.
It's a far better alternative, I think, to stick with him as long term than going through the merry-go-rounds of risking Iraola, who's unproven, Glasner, who got a good cup runs and stuff like that, but hasn't necessarily proven in the league he can go on and bump. So, yeah, I feel like before we press that panic button, I think we need to just see more.
James, we've definitely pressed the
panic button's been pressed.
The panic button has been pressed. The button that hasn't been pressed yet is the sack button. Yeah.
No, but that's the panic button I'm talking about. If you're talking... What button do you think that I was talking about? The form or something like that?
No. When you say panic button, I'm like, yo, we're all panicking. Anyway,
yeah, bro.
So.
Because it's looking
dark.
My
panic button. No, the
it's
panic
looking
button.
Dark right now, brother.
I'm probably not like panicking the same.
No, I think. You know what it is? I think I know you, yeah, broski.
Yeah.
You see you. I reckon obviously you're willing to give manager time, and rightly so. But I know deep down,
This
you're
manager,
thinking,
not any manager.
no,
This manager.
I know. But I still think there's a part of it that's thinking deep down, like broski, like quietly, you're thinking to yourself, no,
You
we're
can,
in eighth.
never, you can never be in a time like what we're in and be 100% confident, can you? But do I think there's more substance to my belief to wanting to keep a league?
But you have the
winning
belief
manager?
though that he can turn. You genuinely have the
And,
belief
and
that he can
that's
turn it around.
all we all have. Do you know what's funny? I've seen half the chat laugh at me for having a belief. That's all they have as well. They haven't foreseen what's going to happen. Everyone is judging their opinions off of belief. That's what we're all judging it on. You're judging it off 7 and 10. I'm judging it off a manager who's got a Premier League medal.
I hear that.
So I've just back to my point before, which I said about the run of games that we've got. Our next 5, I've done 8 games. Our next 8 games, we played 19th in the league, 18th in the league, 4th in the league, 16th, 11th, 5th, 20th, and 15th. So we've got 2 teams in the top half there. That's a one for me where you can build the confidence. All
right, let me ask you this then. What is your expectation that he wins all of them games then? Because the teams you just mentioned are all in because so you think we should win all them games, yeah?
My expectation is that he beats Nottingham Forest, he beats West Ham.
Yeah.
You get Sunderland one where if it's a draw, a hard fought draw, and I can't knock it, I'd be a little bit disappointed, but I can't knock it.
I hear that because look what happened to Arsenal. I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
He should beat Leeds.
Yeah.
He should beat Brighton.
Yeah.
Tottenham away, I'd like to think we win, but again, it's another one where they're a tougher side to beat this year. I'd still want us to win, but if it's a draw, it's one of them ones where it's not the worst result in the world. He should beat Wolves and he should beat Leeds. He should be winning minimum 6 of the next 8.
No losses, am I right? We should lose none of them games, really and truly.
Not really, no.
So if he loses,
certainly not the games that I've identified as wins. He can't.
All right, so if he loses, just quickly, just so I know, kind of, and again, this is not me trying to do the whole thing where I'm trying to press you in terms of
what you're asking.
Yeah, I just like because even I will be thinking like this. I'll be like, I agree with you. We should be not losing any of those games, and if he does, bro, I'm gonna. Do you see where I'm at? Like, because we shouldn't lose none of them games. Like, if he was to lose like 1 or 2 of them games, how would you feel? Like, genuinely,
it depends on the context, but I'd be disappointed.
I feel terrible now. I feel terrible with what we're seeing now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not ready to press. And by panic button, I mean sacking the manager. That's what I mean by panic button. I'm not ready to press that button yet. And I might not, even if we lose one of those games, but I very well could. Let's see it happen. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people wouldn't have seen us beating Real Madrid, for instance, and we did. So it's just let's see it happen. Let's see the run. And eventually everyone on here can tell me, I told you so, James. But again, that's just based off my.
No, I hear it, but bruv, listen. I know. Obviously, we're content creators, and everything we say, obviously, people can go and fact check it and whatever. But you're allowed also to change your opinion. People might say, "Oh, you're whatever." But at the end of the day, if you believe the manager is going to fix it, that's your belief. I'm at a point where I don't think the manager is going to change it, but I'm also happy to be proven wrong as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And sit here and go, bro, do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be real. I didn't think this manager could turn it around and look what's happened now.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying about the wait and see. I just think maybe there's a lot more people that want him out now because just like you and your beliefs, they have beliefs that they don't, like categorically, this will not be fixed. They just feel like it's going to get worse and they feel like he's lost the dressing room and X, Y, and Z.
Do you know where I could be being a bit biased as well? So like online, the majority slot out at the moment, but like in Liverpool, like pretty much I'd say 80% of Liverpool is back in slot at the moment. And that could be it. I could just be around like-minded people and that's what it is. But we truly believe he's the best manager for this club. And this isn't even just me. This is fans who have seen Shankly.
I went the Aston Villa game and I was talking to loads sat around me. And not one of them said
not one
wanted to get the manager.
Like it is very much an online thing, and that doesn't diminish their opinions. I'm just simply saying the perspective in the city, the ones who are going to the games regularly, is not the same as like everyone else. And I think, and again, these are older generation fans who have seen us win everything. Do you know what I mean?
No, I hear that.
So it could just be me being clouded by what they're telling me and whatever, but that's just why I do sustain what
it is as well. It's about mindset and it's about, like you said, beliefs. Because some people are like harsher in terms of they want the same thing as you, but they would rather make the cut now, so to speak, knowing that they feel like they're going to get better results down the line. Whereas some people that are willing to wait to see how bad it gets. and then go, actually, all right, cool. We're at a point now where we just have to do it.
It's
why I
not saying
feel
though, isn't it? The devil that
Mm.
you know to the devil that you don't. I'd rather stick with the devil that I know and back him to turn it round and try and gamble and get a new manager in, and then it could work. You could get new manager bounce. It could be better, or it could start the one thing which I don't want to happen, which is he doesn't work. You have to get rid of him, and then we're sitting there going, the next manager comes in, he doesn't work. Gotta get rid of him. I don't want us to turn into that club.
No, but I also don't want people to be scared of change, though, because that's another thing. I think sometimes when you're so used to something and something's brought you success,
I get what you're saying though with the devil that you don't know, because that's what I did with Tom. 2 years working with him, never upgraded. You get me? Stuck with the devil that I know. Even though I start working with Coppish, James Redmond, I still bring Tom on. Why? I stick with the devil I know. You get me? It's just as simple as that.
Hey, boy, I've got to shoot off at him. I'm jumping on the channel as well. All right, but big up the boys. Big up the boys.
Sorry, guys, I had to go off camera. My OK jersey delivery just arrived as well. Big up to you. Big up to you, James. My OK jersey. I swear this is not actually an ad. It's actually just delivered. I just showed you guys. You get me? So
I just got delivered now. Yeah. I need to find out where my thing is actually. Yeah, that's a good point actually.
Here we go. It's been delivered.
Yeah.
Been received again. You get me? So, yeah, big up to all of you guys. Anyway, let me just grab these supers for a wrap up. This has been one hell of a stream. Had to go pray as well in the middle of it and go help out my mom. So I apologize once again for being off camera for a bit. But the guys, you get me, had a very fruitful debate today. There was no shouting. We did not gegenpress Callum. Big up to all of you guys as well. We're closing in on 500 likes. We're like 10 likes away. Please close the live chat. Hit the like button right here, right now. Let's go. Come on, have some shame. How many likes are we on? 443. We're 50 likes away. Close the live chat, hit the like button. Let me just grab these. Villa's passiveness made certain players live easy, and Madrid. Salah actually held up the ball well from long and found people within proximity. I think aggressive press shows lack of technical security on the right-hand side.
I would. The one thing I'd say is the right-hand side does not lack technical security. That's probably the more technically secure side. If you're talking about Mohamed Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Conor Bradley, I'd say that's more technically secure than Wirtz, Robertson, and whoever drifts out to the left.
Ooh, well,
at least on a consistent basis.
I would say Wirtz is definitely better keeping the ball than Salah. Well, here's the thing: this version of Salah is a version that we've never seen, and I understand the crash out, but like I said, when someone's got no confidence, they can look like the worst footballer. I don't think Salah's not the issue just why we're losing, but I think his form is one of the reasons why teams are maybe going down that side more and exposing some of the weaknesses that he has and maybe didn't show as much. His lack of
off the ball work is getting exposed a lot more this year.
Yeah, like compared to last year,
we're not able to cover it as well.
Yeah, we was able to hide it or cover it up. Yeah, hide it. We was able to hide it a lot more last year. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Because you got to bear in mind last year, like I said at the start, and I feel like this again. People put this on the manager, and that's fine. This is why I look at it and go, I can't fully blame the manager for this because I don't think he sells all the players and buys all the players. I think that's done above him to a degree. Last year we had 3 elite off the ball players in those attacking positions. Ironically, we've kept the 2 worst off the ball people. And we've lost 3 elite pressers and replaced them with 0 elite pressers. Now, people will try and sit there and give me, Florian Wirtz's pressing numbers in the Bundesliga were elite. Yes, they were. But I've watched Florian Wirtz in the Premier League. He runs, but he cannot match the physicality at the minute. Too many times he's getting bullied off the ball. That fucks up your pressing. Pressing's about being physical, about winning your duels. So we've lost a lot of the pressing there. Last year, you could play Diogo up top with Diaz on the left, with Szoboszlai in behind, and those 3 would be such a fucking unit that Salah's lack of pressing was negated because you had 3 elite pressers around them. We don't have that now.
I know Florian Wirtz kind of does need to bulk up or whatever, but people are looking people are looking like are we forgetting his shoulder barge hoisting off the ball and then set up a chance straight away? Are we forgetting yesterday, especially yesterday, when he was helping out kind of like towards like just before like the halfway line or whatever? Remember, he shoulder barge Shirky, got the ball off him, and was showing some grit. This is the thing. Florian Wirtz can mix it up, you know. It's just that I think
But there was too many times yesterday where he just
No.
got bullied.
But what I think it is though is that we want him to mix up a bit too much, and really and truly, he should be further up the pitch, a bit like what Salah was doing last year. Obviously, we want him to mix it up, but that shouldn't really be his job though. Because you see, last year, Salah was just on a different level, goal scoring and creating. Yeah, that's what you want to see from Wirtz. But I do feel like it's a little bit unfair to say, "Oh, Wirtz is getting shoved off the ball." There's a lot of play like McAllister is a mid.
I do agree with that. I think it is unfair on him.
I
also think
I
people
don't
should
think it is.
focus
I don't think it's harsh to say Wirtz is struggling with the physicality of the Premier League at times.
I'll be honest with you, Tom. I'm currently at with Florian Wirtz. I'm waiting 2-3 games, bro, because if this shit continues, we're gonna have to have even existential conversations about Wirtz as well. I'm gonna be honest.
It's not about needing to have existential. It's not this big thing. It's a fact to me. Florian Wirtz in certain games is struggling with the physicality of the Premier League. Mateus Nunes yesterday bullied him time and time again. Now, should we be putting Wirtz in them situations? Maybe not.
Yeah,
but
that's
the fact of the matter is, I am stating a stone cold fact of Florian Wirtz. He works hard, he runs. I'm not saying he doesn't work, but physically, there's players that he can't handle. There's players that just bully him.
No. What you're saying, that's fine. But what I don't want though is, all right, if we're gonna have that energy for Wirtz, which is fine by the way, I think that's fair.
And you can have it for others. I'm not just trying to say
what Wirtz. I was gonna say, do you know who deserves more energy? McAllister.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, look, from now.
Bullied.
McAllister's one of my favorite players, yeah. But right now he's moving like a fraud. Let's call it. He's a fraud, bro. He is a fraud. When was the last time you saw McAllister going to Jules and actually win some Jules, bro?
Real Madrid.
Because I see Gravenberch do it. I see Soberslide do it. At least for
I'll be honest.
McAllister's been one of the. And remember, McAllister's in the middle of the park. He's literally vacating the game, playing like he's on holiday.
I'll be honest, Matt. Gravenberch has pissed me off with his Jules recently as well.
And I'm a big fan of McAllister, you know, but I'm not scared to call out McAllister, though. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I want us to be fair. No. I'm just saying. I want people to be fair. I want people to be fair. It's fine to crash it on Wirtz, that's fine, but we have to crash it on McAllister as well. Let's have the same energy for something.
I'm not trying to crash it on him. I'm just saying,
not you, bro. Not you. I'm just saying there's people, in my opinion, that are too heavily focused on Wirtz, but are not willing to speak about McAllister.
Let me just grab these guys because we're in 2 hours and 10 minutes. This is Oppenheimer settings now. I honestly think
Gravenberch has been shitting Jules for the last month.
Do you know what's so mad, yeah? Right, so this person, I'm going to call out this person in the chat, yeah? Whatever his name is, yeah? John, was it John, whatever, 2689. He goes, you're not a real supporter then when Arne McAllister is one of my favorite players and then saying he's a fraud. I'm sorry. Let me explain it to you so you understand what I'm saying. I can appreciate how great players are, but if they are playing like garbage, I will call it out. I don't understand what's wrong with that. Managers putting up mediocrity just because you're a McAllister supporter. What are we doing here? Husam, you're a big McAllister supporter, right?
Yes.
Husam, you know, after McAllister's first year, I probably got ahead of myself. You know, I said I thought he was world class. But man will say, and then man will say this and that. Bro, if someone's playing like garbage, it's okay to call them out. And I'm gonna praise the player if he does well. It's part and parcel of the game.
I think the only player for us that's been consistent from the beginning of the season till today is Dominic Soboslai. Other than that, they've all had really bad games. So, yeah. I honestly think people should focus less on the money spent and more on whether the money was as well spent. Optimal profiles in immediate areas. For me, we don't have optimal profiles for first phase. First line is what Banter is fine is saying.
Yeah,
I hear the slot.
We fucked up badly on that front. We cannot build out the back consistently.
No,
that's why we wanted Mark Gahey, and Tom's been speaking about it ever since.
And Trent, remember what Trent? I'm telling you, man, for all the people. Anyway, I'll leave it there.
I'm all for criticizing Salah, but look at our offense after the 60th minute. Apart from Dom's shot, everything was attempted through Salah. Pussy Slot rather fans scapegoat Jurgen offense than create his own. Here's the thing. Even Tom yesterday on the terrace, forget me because we go like, oh, it's Arab bias. Yesterday, Tom on the terrace was like, the only one that deserves any credit was fucking Salah because he was our only outlet.
He was the only attacker that actually tried to do anything and make anything.
Yeah, like he tried, attempted. It didn't work.
TK got fuck all going. Wirtz was too busy, was too far back to really get anything going. And there was a time in the game where he should have done something and fucked it up, which really fucking pissed me off.
Yeah.
Salah, did he beat Nico O'Reilly much? No.
Fair
he
play,
wasn't
Joe.
good.
Fair play, my broski. Fair play. I hear
He
what you're saying.
wasn't good. But Mohamed Salah yesterday was literally our only way of getting the ball up the pitch because we
Yeah.
couldn't
John
build up
made
through the
that.
lines.
Great.
Anytime we tried to pass through the midfield, McAllister, Soboslai, or Gravenberch would lose it. The only way we could get up that pitch is if someone boosted it long and Salah was able to hold it up. And then we got no support around them up until the second half.
Can I just give you just a quick summary of Liverpool season, just quickly? We were so gassed at the start of this season. Everyone had high hopes, and no one can believe how we're all here right now, and everyone just feels dejected. And the fan base is having a meltdown. People are going at each other for different reasons. We shouldn't be here. We just shouldn't be here. It is that simple. And everyone just feels fed up. I just think that's what it is. Whether you have belief or not, everyone's just dejected and fed up. That's the honest truth.
I just find it funny, Matt, because we sit there and do 2 shows a week. Us 4 with Rebels 5. We argue pretty much every week. And yet none of us take it personally. None of us say anything personal. None of us do anything.
No. Come on, you got my broskies. Come on, man.
Talk. It's football talk. And then you'll see people who take this shit so seriously and get so hurt and say such mad shit about it. After this stream, me and Matt have just spent 5 minutes arguing and debating. After the stream, me and Matt are going to have a nice chat and chill out.
100. Probably talk about FC.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you got FM now.
No, not yet. But I need to. Funny enough, I need to do my weekend league on FC 26. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't done weekend league for a while.
Yeah, apparently it's playing like crap, but I still did. But no, you're right though. Like, listen, again, we all Liverpool fans. We all love the team. We all want the best for the team. I just think the reality is everyone's having a mini crash out because we cannot believe what is happening with our club, and we should be doing better. We all recognize we should be doing better, and I just think we just all have different opinions how we get better. That's all it is. Just for anyone that thinks maybe there's some passer or something.
I think everyone agrees that there's different opinions. I just don't understand the whole aggressiveness to each other or the aggressiveness.
No, agreed. It doesn't need to be that.
I'll be honest. The chat in the last couple of streams on both channels to different people being ridiculously toxic. It matched the energy we're giving each other on stream. When me and Redmond were pressing Cal, it wasn't horrible. It was a bit of a laugh because we were going, oh, we turned it round now. Cal could have pressed us today and it would have been the same thing. But there was no aggressiveness or malice behind it. So I feel like that's where people just need to... You can be angry that we're in this situation, but don't take it out on us. And don't say shit like that's been going around. Because ultimately, we're not the fuckers not running on the football pitch.
That's why I always say, I'll say it on Husam's stream, my stream, Coppice's stream, Tom, if you decide to stream.
Let's not go there, lad.
Just listen. Just respect people's opinion. You don't have to like the opinion, but just don't show abuse. Banter's fine. We get all the time. People say I'm mad, whatever. Don't really care. Just always show respect, though. You know what I'm trying to say? Because this is the reason why you guys want us to talk and have these facts and have these conversations.
Hold on, Matt. Sorry. John K. Don't backtrack now. That was bullying. Me and James did not bully Callum Sanderson last stream. If Callum had an issue with what we did, Callum would message us and Callum would talk about it. That's how we are with each other. He could have done that today. It would have been funny. I don't think it was bullying.
I guess that's someone's perception, innit? That's someone's perception, innit? I guess. I haven't even seen the stream. We've been
doing this shit for a year together. We know what each other's limits are.
It's not Slot to fix it rather than managers available, is what Noor's saying. I agree with that. Big up to Banter is fine. Again, dubs in the chat for him as well for all the support he's shown us on the stream, and I do appreciate it so much, man. Big up to you. He says, Fairs, when I said right hand side, I meant building up from goal kicks. Maybe lack of technicality is wrong word. My issue is Konate's best progressive action is carrying. He barely uses it. Bradley is a runner/carrier, in my opinion. That's my thing. Look, in terms of build up, your point is 100% true, because, and this is why Tom keeps bringing up the whole Gahey thing. However, sometimes I do look at it from a like a genuine perspective, like footballing perspective, tactics, right? If we had Gahey and let's say, I don't know, good right back who can build up, do I think it changes anything in terms of style, yes, to an extent, it changes the way that we build up from the back, the way that we come out of a press, as an example. I think it would be very helpful, of course. Maybe having Mark Gahey in there as a passer would be so much better than having Konate in there because of Gahey's a better passer. But then I look at like the team in general and I go like, okay, so now on the other side, when we're high pressing Manchester City and we're gonna get abused on counterattacks, is Gahey an insert right back gonna help anything?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
no.
yeah.
That's the
But
thing. So
I
it
don't
helps
think
one side of the game.
it helps the area where which if we become better at build up, I think a lot of the out of possession problems fix themselves because we lose the ball less. I think a real problem we've got now is too many games we're conceding too much possession to opposition and giving them too many chances to hurt us. If you give a team 30, 40 opportunities in a game to start attacks, they will get you once or twice. We need to. Last year, our biggest strength was giving teams so few opportunities to even get attacks going because we were so well set up. And I think that because we've lost that from the fullbacks and we haven't made that up in the centre backs, we are now struggling to. We're now giving the ball away too much. We're taking too many unnecessary risks. We're making too many silly mistakes. And that is in turn giving the ball to the opposition more, giving them more chances to attack us. I feel the same way that I felt about Van Dijk in the 23-24 season when we conceded like 40 goals. He was very good that year. But the fact is, if he's got to deal with 40 attacks a game compared to 20, we're going to concede more goals, no matter how good he is. The fact of the matter is we are giving teams too many opportunities to hurt us because we are struggling to control games, because this season we are struggling to build out of the back, and it means our attacks are less well built up. Teams get more confident out of pressing us, and teams get more attacks against us because too many times, like Matt said, especially against Man City, we have to resort to booting it long and hoping that someone can make it stick up there because we can't play through the lines. Last year, we were brilliant at playing through the lines. So many moments where it would be ping, 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 gets a Sobostai, you can carry the ball forward, and we took 5 people out the game. We can't do that now. So we need to adapt our game to that. We should have bought a second centre-back who is good at build-up, because what that does is it gives you symmetry on both sides. Right now, everything has to go to Van Dijk, and Van Dijk, unless he switches to the right, is always going to go to the left, which means that there's certain
We might need another crisis meeting, Tom, me, you and Mike. Bring out the tactics for the game.
At certain games, though, Husam, at the start of the season, what was I saying about Mohamed Salah? He's too isolated. We've got no one to give him the ball because everyone's on the left. If you get a right centre-back that can pass consistently, and the best part is I can sit there and say this because I called it out when we were winning, teams will exploit Ibrahima Konate's lack of quality incisive passing. Again, Burnley done it really well. Man City done it really well. What ended up happening against City was we tried about 4 different solutions to address that. There was times where Gravenberch would go very far to the right. There's times where McAllister would drop in between the centre-backs. There was times where we'd tell Bradley to stay deep. None of it worked because the inherent problem was we had to avoid building up there, but we couldn't because we don't have other players that can do it. That was the real problem. And I get what you were saying earlier, Matt, about the pass stats. He had like 70 passes completed. But then passes weren't. It matters about the incisiveness of it.
I swear, it's like 5:36 p.m.
Yeah, but I'm on a roll.
I'm not gonna lie, I need to get my lunch, bro. It's like I need to do
see?
school run as well, bro.
I
need to somehow get my food and do school run in about 20 minutes, bro. I got
see, that's what I'm saying. Big up, James.
More important.
Tom, you're the only one here. Big up, James. I literally have your if, buts, and maybes on my soundboard. Love it. Honestly, I'm not sure what to think, lads. We need to change after the international break. Everyone has it. I was scrolling through YouTube shorts and it was like best UK accent moments. It's general stuff, and it's like James Redmond is top, and I send them to James. I'm like, look, you're famous, my guy. Big up to you, Becky. What makes someone like Iraola better than Slot at this moment in time? Nothing. Big up to Nags Games, who says nobody's Slotten. There is no Ten Hag era here. Slotten is waiting till the end of the season to gather all the evidence to make the best decision. I do disagree with that slightly because, like I said, if we come out after the international break and lose 3 games in a row, I'm sorry, ain't nobody waiting till the end of the season with 12 losses and 6 wins. Like, let's be fucking honest here. You get me? So, bringing Klopp to this conversation is disingenuous. I do agree because he built it from the scratch. Big up to Salah's hairline, who says it's interesting the 2 youngest panel members have the most patience for failures. I'm 40 and with the squad, I'm not okay sacrificing this season. Hey, fairs, you get me? I'm being called young.
I don't believe we're sacrificing
They're
the
calling
season.
me young. Let's go. Allah, I made it. Thank you, Salah's hairline. I'm young. But that's only because Callum's 52.
To that point, though, I don't believe we're sacrificing the season. I don't believe keeping Arne Slot means sacrificing the season. I still think
I'll
Arne
never
Slot
forget when I first met the boys from Kopish, I thought Matt was the youngest one. Turns out Matt's the oldest one.
No, I'm not the oldest.
Drift's the oldest.
one.
I'm not saying nothing. Who's the oldest?
Drift's the oldest.
I'm not. All I'm saying is I'm not the oldest. I could be the youngest. I'm just saying, but I definitely ain't the oldest. I'm just putting that out.
To be fair, Mbuemo was only 25.
Big up to Ty, who says, "Nah, you're not checking how bad Slot has been. He's been outcoached by basic managers while having top players.
Gotta stop.
He's so far behind. It's not funny." No, I do understand that perspective. I swear, I really do. You are correct, 100%. Him getting outcoached by all these managers is irritating me as well. Just like Eddie Howe in the fucking Carabao Cup final. Our rest defense massively improves with optimal profiles and build-up. So does our ball tendencies. A lot of on the pitch issues due to us.
A lot of our out of possession issues are due to our problems in possession.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
I completely accept this, and I completely agree with you. I'm simply saying, with a high press, if Gahey and insert good build-up right back are getting abused by Doku and Haaland, it ain't gonna change much, my brother. That's all I'm saying.
That's fine.
All I'm saying. I'm just being honest with it now. If they're getting abused like 5-6 attacks in a row, they ain't gonna save the day now. Let's be honest here. Just saying. Slot was given 450 million. Klopp made gold from scraps. This is true. Big up to Rude Boy. Big up, Rude Boy. Blessings to all. Why does it seem like James Redmond is making excuses for Arne Slot? So losing 7 out of 10 is acceptable. I thought Liverpool's standard was better than this. To be fair, we have all agreed that losing 7 out of 10 is not acceptable. However, I don't want Slot gone because I think he could turn it around. It's the very basic bitch reason, but guess what? Sometimes you need basic bitch reasons to have hope. I'm hopeful for today. Take this music and use. I'm running on hopium, baby. Gegen pressing to just depressing. That's Liverpool Football Club right now. You get me? Big up to all of you guys. Do make sure guys are liking and subscribing. Please go check out all these guys' channels. All their links are in the description. The Matt One Show, Kopish, Tom Little with the one on YouTube, Insta, Twitter, The Works, James Redmond TV, Sanderson Show, and Drifty TV, all in the description. Go give them all a subscribe. Subscribe to this channel as well. And once again, thank you guys so much for 65K. I got the therapy out the way because later on A-listers going to get cooked at 8 p.m. as well, UK time. When is it going to end, Robbie? Never. It's never going to end, Robbie. You get me? We're going to be redirecting you guys over to Footy Judge Mo. He's live right now. Go just tell him Husam raid in his chat. Love you all. And by the way, okay, Jersey, just arrived. You get me? Here you go. That's why I had to go off camera right here. You get me? There you go. Delivery. See this? 10 shirts right here. Do make sure guys check out our sponsors. Okay, Jersey, use code Husam for 8% off. Love you all, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
No peeps.